Their defense is a great complement to that offense, and we've seen some, 5 shutouts here this year from the Barnesville defense. So you see two teams here, not necessarily polar opposites, but bring different style of football here today. And like you said, JW, there will be winner. We're waiting the juggernaut, obviously, and that's the Caledonia Warriors.
That's the last team that beat Minneapolis North, ended their season a year ago in the state tournament at 11-0 now for the Polars. Brian Strand, his favorite comment that he made to me about his offense, he calls the plays, the head coach, and sometimes he doesn't know who ends up with the ball because of all that misdirection. It's going to be interesting to watch those guys in white and how they operate with the football today. We will come back and get you some keys to this game. It's Barnesville at 10-2, a bit of an underdog coming into the state tournament against the juggernaut, the number 2 team in Class 2A, the Minneapolis North Polars. And it's right here coming your way next on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Some people think our generation isn't ambitious, that we expect everything to be handed to us. But my McDonald's gets that I'm working towards something bigger, that I'm studying to be a microbiologist. That's why they give me tuition assistance. I don't work for McDonald's. McDonald's works for me because they're committed to being America's best first job.
Splash, 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 apply a little splash. When your windshield's getting dirty, just apply a little splash. When your windshield's full of grime, bugs, dirt, and snow, just use a little splash and be safe on the road. Splash, 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 apply a little splash. When your windshield's getting dirty, just apply a little splash. See safely on the road when you apply a little splash.
Studies show that the younger a person starts using drugs and alcohol, the more likely they'll become addicted. Know the signs and symptoms. Find the resources families need at hazeldenbettyford.org/families.
Are you sick, got the flu, do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call, where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
Back with you at U.S. Bank Stadium, the Barnesville Trojans in white at 10-2, a 4-2 record in the Midwest white. They'll be the visitors today. J.W. Cox alongside Chris Owen with our entire PrepSpotlight.tv crew. Let's get to some keys to the game, starting with the Trojans, a win over Moose Lake Willow River, and Coach Strand told me nobody gave them a lot of shot to get that victory, and they went out statement time and put up 40 points and put the shutout, which was their 5th of the season.
Well, I think Barnesville's key here is leading up to that. You have teams and struggles against some perennial football here in Minnesota with the teams like Hawley and Breckenridge. You're talking about 1-point games at the end of the season that really prep them for that run in the playoffs. And then you have a team like Moose Lake Willow River who's been to this thing, who knows what it takes to get here, 40-0. That's a pretty resounding statement right there.
Nick Detloff, a senior, thrust into the starting role as the tailback. He came in slated to be a fullback, but an injury in preseason to an 800-yard back from the year before made it where Detloff was going to be the man, and he sailed into that, had over 900 yards in just the regular season alone. On the other side, for the home team on the scoreboard today, the Minneapolis North Polars at 11-0. A closer game, and certainly for them, an 8-point game that went back and forth and was very close. A 78-yard pass from the quarterback Zach Yeager to Nasser El Amin with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left is the difference in this game. That's not territory they were in, because you see how they've outscored opponents the rest of the games this season.
Kind of the opposite of Barnesville, how Barnesville's regular season really prepped them for their run. Minneapolis North had probably one game against Breck School where they were challenged. The rest of the time, it was blowouts and shutouts. And then leading up to the Redwood Valley game where it was Yeager being able to hook up with El Amin with the big win. They have kind of progressed as the playoffs have gone on. So, they both these teams know what it takes here at this point. Well coached, should be a great battle here today.
Polars in blue, the Trojans in white. Their predominant colors, they've got the purple, just like on the rest of the building here at U.S. Bank Stadium. So glad you're alongside for the second game of the day as the semifinals of Prep Bowl 2018 roll on to try and send somebody to the championship game against Caledonia. His 14th-year head coach Brian Strand, over 114 wins coming in. He's dealing with his own issues off the field. He had a stroke earlier this spring. He's got heart surgery scheduled for the day after the championship game. He gave a lot of credit to not only his kids but his coaching staff for getting him through here. On the other side, head coach Charles Adams, who Chris mentioned, his 9th season. He's also a Minneapolis police officer and the school resource officer at Minneapolis North. Quite a bit of the dual role that you've got going on there, too.
Yeah, they both great guys. I love, I got to know Charlie here over the years, and I'll tell you what you see is what you get. There is a lot of admiration for him and being his job in the hallways over at North. The Adams and his whole family, just such a great story about North's, resurrection from near closing the school to now where they're at here, working their way up the ranks, 1A, 2A here this year.
3-14 combined in his first 2 seasons to a state coach of the year as honored by the Minnesota Vikings back in 2016, and they're making now their 8th overall trip to the state tournament. It's the 6th trip for Barnesville. Terry Eider, our referee, Dylan Savaray, our umpire, Mark Golseth, the head linesman, Bob Meyer, and Phil Kirchner, the line judge and the back judge. And it will be Barnesville to open up with possession, kicking away. Preston Snowball waiting down in this near side. Snowball, an athletic tight end, plus a linebacker. We'll see him a lot. He's joined back there by Chase Brenner. And this 2A semifinal about to get underway with North to kick it away. Daniel Crandall does the kicking duties. He'll put his foot into it, and bang, there we go. This one's popped up, comes to the near side for Snowball. Look at the reverse. Snowball keeps. Good deception. Springs him to the 35 and 40. Big play to start. Still on his feet. And Snowball taken down from behind. The ball pops out, but that's going to be recovered by the second Barnesville Trojan in there. It looked like Omar Brown was the man in blue who flew in to strip it away late. But the first man to it for Barnesville was Chase Brenner, and the Trojans will still get good field position after the fumble.
Well, when you see this reverse happening, North was down there, and it was almost as if the first line of defense just let them go through, and they were setting up that block on the reverse. Luckily for the Trojans right there that they got, the call was down, because it would have been interesting on such a great return and have a momentum shift like that. But nice job, special teams here. Boy, oh boy, you get to this level, you got to button up, and they did a great job on that return.
11 seconds off the clock on the return, and here comes this Trojans offense led by Adam Tonsfeld. 3 balanced in the backfield. Tonsfeld will give it to the first man through the hole on the left side, who dives inside the 30, and that's Kellen Hines. 32 carries in the regular year for up over 240 yards, and Hines gets the first draw, and he gets the first down of the game out to the 28.
You can see how tight those splits are. I mean, this is the traditional now 3 in the backfield where you're doing almost a tight T there. Everything is quick hitting, everything is deception. You will watch Hines and company here in Detloff. They will just be turning around and trying to get people where they're not, and that's where they benefit and try to exploit those areas.
Hines off the field now. It's the first man through again. The big fullback burrowing his way ahead, close to a first down. That's Detloff, who gets inside the 20 on a 9-yard gain. He's a yard short at the 19. But the stick's moving, and big number 43 bursting through that blue smoke.
Well, I was trying to trap on that one. They actually missed on it, but it happens so fast that if you're not there, and right now if you're the Polars, you got to be assignment-based defense. You have got to be in your spot. And right now in these 2 plays, Barnesville is just moving at will.
2nd and 1 to keep for Tonsfeld this time. Made a man miss in the hole after he got the first down, but enough done there defensively by Taquarius Ware to slow him down, keep him from a big gain with open space down to the 15.
Here's a good fake now. When you go to the fullback as much as they did in those first 2 plays, and it's a lot of fullback action, quarterback makes the right read. Look there, just one guy picks up the first down. So we've really seen now the inside play by the fullback. We've also seen outside tackle here with the hold on the quarterback. And there's still many other counters that we are looking forward to here from this Barnesville offense.
I love it. You were talking about the splits. You can see the 3 guys in the backfield reach their arms out wide to make sure they're in the right spot, and they're just as tight as they need to be. Is the run this time off right side for Hunter Anderson, another 300-yard back in the regular season. He takes this one inside the 10, down to the 8, and get a first down at the 6.
Just straightforward blocking. They had a guard pull and a kick out on that one, but here again, you have got to stop it. Those 2 tackles on the A-gap, their job right now is just to stop the offensive linemen. The linebackers are going to have to be the ones that are going to step up here. And right now, Barnesville is just marching down the field at will.
6 of 11 games, Minneapolis North held everybody out of the end zone for the entirety of the game, as there's Detloff. And Detloff a little slow to get up, and he was just frustrated. I thought he had maybe gotten hurt, but just frustrated he wasn't able to break that, tripped up near the line. And where are they going to spot him? They'll spot him with a first down and goal at the 6.
Yeah, I thought Detloff there is going to come up injured. But you're right, JW. He was disappointed. It wasn't an injury. He thought he should have been in that end zone. And again, this misdirection, when you watch this, or when you're watching at home, watch the linebackers and the corners and where they're going. That's the whole idea. They want you to spread out. It's just quick hitters here and the ability to get into that second level.
Preston Snowball on a kick return to open this game. Set him up with great field position. And the second man through, Adam Tonsfeld. He kept it, rather, and the quarterback dives ahead, and they say down at the 1 for Tonsfeld. So it'll be a second down and goal. Tonsfeld just inches short. Look at the fake. And following his blocker, Chase Brenner, trying to get into the purple paint.
So close. And, even on this lunge, let's take a peek here, because it's the second lunge that really propels him to the end zone. Yeah, I don't know. It's really close here, but I think Barnesville will be happy here. They're just moving forward at will. I don't think there'll be any sort of challenge from the sideline.
Second and goal. Hins the middle backer, and they jump there. There should be a flag, and it's going to come out, so they'll lose 5 yards now. It'll still be goal to go, but a little over eager for Chase Brenner on the left of that triple formation in the backfield. And the first penalty of the game.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So this is a drive that is so far spanning the first 3 minutes of the game, and you saw him, he's already 2 steps down the field.
Yeah, that's where you just tell him to take a hard 90-degree left and act like you're going in motion. And that's a true coaching statement. If you have a tight T backfield like that and you do move forward, you take a left and act like you're zipping out of there. But
everybody else should be set. So the first time we've seen this look, the pistol, and it's Snowball who's going to take it. Basically a wildcat look. Snowball's going to go off left side, and the big man walks in for the touchdown. 6'3", 200, tough to bring down, and he found a hole, and it's 6-0 Trojans to open it up.
Well, if you're a Trojan fan right now, you got to be pleased with the offensive line play. The push that they're getting, they're not getting touched until they're in the second level. If you're a Polar defense, you're going to have to step up. Right now, the Seals are there. You can see he almost goes in untouched, literally, into the end zone after that penalty. So the Trojans getting on the board here early.
Snowball had a 2-point conversion run once last week against Moose Lake Willow River. And they'll try to do it again. Not a lot of kicking done by Barnesville. The deep man is Tonsfeld, the normal quarterback. By the way, he stands for comparison at 5'9", 165, the sophomore behind the 6'3", 200-pound Snowball. Snowball, he'll run again. Same play, and he's in. Ripped down, but not before he crossed the goal line, and it's 8-0 out of the gates for Barnesville.
Well, it's almost identical play, right, JW? Just into the end zone, off the left side, great blocking. Boy, Barnesville out here early and looks good offensively.
The number 2 team in the state needing to answer. Barnesville up 8-0 on PrepSpotlight.tv. Barnesville maybe the underdog in this one at 10-2, but after a great kick return from Preston Snowball, got them into Minneapolis North territory to start this game. Run, run, run. Big ones, just chunks, taken out 9, 10, 12 yards apiece, and then Snowball from 6 yards out with the touchdown run. He tacked on the 2-point conversion himself as well. And Chris, 8-0. That's exactly how Barnesville wants to draw it up. Convert on the short field and run your offense.
Well, when you say the proverbial, you could drive a Mack truck through some of those holes. You just saw the 2-point conversion. They're literally getting a push there that is unprecedented here against this Polar defense, which is very, very good.
Bouncing kick taken by Omar Brown. Brown avoids a tackle at the 30 and then another, but he's swarmed under and eventually ripped down to the deck by that Barnesville push and able to get down there. Brooks Mortensen, one of the reserve tight ends, in on special teams as well, kept Brown from shaking his way all the way free out to the 28.
It was a nice little return. You picked it up. It was kind of the hard bounce going here, but that's North athleticism right there. They're looking to spring something. Take care of that ball. That ball hanging out there could cause problems here in the future. But I'll tell you what, we'll see right now. This is the first opportunity to see if North's offense is up to the challenge here against a very good Trojan defense.
I would expect they've got an answer awaiting with the right arm of sophomore Keegan Yeager. Yeager crouching down in the pistol, file out the wide receiver screen and just a little too far off the hands of Daniel Crandall. They can't afford a lot of that. You got to think the execution level has to be pretty high facing this Barnesville defense.
That's a great point here. It's just a little quick, no-step drop, and he goes and he shuttles it out on that little slip screen. Here's the key. You nailed it. They're going to have to not be perfect, but they're going to have to execute their offense cleanly here today because of things like that against a really good Barnesville defense is going to be unacceptable for them.
Straight up the middle run for Keon Porter. Doubles as a linebacker, pushes it out to the 31-yard line after the incompletion.
Teams like Minneapolis North, they have to think about third down conversion. So that first incomplete pass, this is a nice little run straight up the middle, good form tackle on the play. They got to make sure that these third and shorts are where they're aiming.
Run, right side, a little jet sweep action. Martinson sets the edge as Nasser El-Amin tries to turn it at the 35. He won't get there on a third down. And North faces a fourth down decision, not yet to midfield, trailing it already by a touchdown and a two-point conversion.
Well, I know this sounds funny. They're at the 35 here. The conventional wisdom here, JW, is to punt it away, right? Charlie Adams is a gambler. I would imagine you will see today the ability for him to say, let's go for it. We need to be that gambling team, and here you go. This is the first example of what we were just talking about.
I think he believes that he can pick up the 3 yards that they need almost at any time. A wide-open playbook to do it, but the snap is bobbled by Yeager. He knocks it ahead. It's loose, and Barnesville has it. The first turnover of the game goes to the Trojans, and again, the little things, the snap not held on to, a little wide of Yeager, and it's Barnesville leading 8-0 and moving in at the 31.
Obvious statement here is going to be take care of the ball, and the penalty is right there, just slipped right through his hands. And there's the return and the recovery right there. So the Trojan fans on their feet here early and kind of silence this north sideline, but more importantly, if you're a Polar fan, you got to be worried about this offense that Trojans are putting on the field. They marched down 7-play, 43 yards, and literally marched down the field. See if they have an answer here this second series.
Fumble recovery by Adrian O'Brien. Tonsfeld gives to the last man through of that trio back behind him. That's Hins again. He got things started on that touchdown drive. He'll push this one down to the 25. It's a pickup of 6.
Pick up a 6 here, and the reason I like what Barnesville is doing is they're going in between tackles. You can't get in a foot race with the athletes that North has on the outside. Stay inside. Everything should be fullback, guard, fullback, second back inside of that tackle, and they're doing that right now. They're not worried on the outside. And look at North adjust here. They already have, look at how many guys on that outside. They need to stack that box a little tighter here.
They've got playmakers on that inside as a run off the right guard this time. Moving ahead for Hunter Anderson, who we saw with a good gain in that first drive as well. And he's going to push for a first down close to the 20.
No splits. They have all their guards and tackles and tight ends are literally one step back. You notice the center, he has that thrust back shotgun motion. And they are just literally moving forward. Once in a while, we see a guard that comes over and tries to trap or get a counterback play. But this is just moving forward 5-6 yards a carry. This plays right into Barnesville's game plan here.
Under 6.5 to go. There's playmakers up front on that Minneapolis North defense. They're just not having a chance to get behind the line of scrimmage. Run to the left. This time for Detloff. He pushes out inside the 20-yard line to the 17. 3-yard pickup. It's a defense, Chris, that had 31 sacks and 79 tackles for loss in the regular season in blue. 21 more tackles for loss and 7 more sacks in the postseason. But you go up against this offense, they're not going to be behind the line of scrimmage long enough to give you any chance to make a play for a loss.
You nailed it. Big difference right here. All the teams I'm looking at that the Polars played all year are teams that spread it out and have very athletic outside games. They've seen nothing like this inside tackle here.
Last man through, chance there in the backfield, but sprung to the left for Brenner. Brenner with the first down inside the 10. There was a Polar back there, and it was Keon Porter, their number 2 tackler, just eluded him as he tried to break through and make this play. Watch early, number 3 in blue.
And watch how he was still trying to go inside tackle. They do not want to go outside. The only opportunity for the outside, watch right here. He's still thinking inside. But what a great read. He got the ability to go out there. So that's coach. That is the ability to say, follow your blockers. Don't do it on your own outside with a one-on-one coverage. You get that guy blocking in front of you, then you make that cut.
It is first and goal, leading 8-0. Tonsfeld into Detloff, and he walks through. The misdirection was perfect that time, and he was untouched. Barnesville up 2 scores. The fumble becomes 6 more, and it's 14-0 in favor of the Midwest White entrant from western Minnesota.
Straight in right here, untouched. Look at that. Gets the seal he needed, but they were looking for that outside on the right side, and he literally goes straight in the middle, untouched from the fullback position.
An 8-yard run for Detloff. Tonsfeld will go under center for the 2-point conversion. Tonsfeld tucks it, runs behind Detloff, and steps inside the end zone for another 2-point conversion, and it's 16-0 here, less than 7 minutes into this first quarter.
Coming off the right side again. They're just trying to spread it out here a little bit. They got a kick, they got a fullback seal, and they got 2 points again. Barnesville's offense right now is running on all cylinders. The Polars don't have an answer for it. If the Polars don't have an answer for it, this could be a time-consumed drive every time they get it, and a really good-looking run, that rush offense that the Trojans have.
Nothing but the run, and it's got Barnesville up 16-0 on PrepSpotlight.tv.
There is nothing like the excitement of high school sports.
But sometimes you can't make it to the gym
Or the stadium. And if you can't be here, keep PrepSpotlight.tv.
PrepSpotlight.tv is not only your home for the most regular season high school sports action, it's your address for the most state tournament coverage in Minnesota history.
If you can't be here, be at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Don't adjust your set. It is 16-0 Barnesville. Making their way east here to Minneapolis. They rode the bus. They practiced at Minnetonka yesterday. They watched that Caledonia-Painesville game. Coach Strand telling me his Trojans take the wow factor away from being in this building. Only some of the seniors played when they were here a couple of years ago, and there's been no wow factors. They're out to a 16-0 lead, kicking off again to the Polars. Brown trying to take this one again. That's Crandall, excuse me, and he turns a little bit of nothing into a little bit of something out to the 18. Off a fumble. This is how the ball goes back to the Trojans, already leading at 8-0. It was a 4th down and 3, and the Polars couldn't hang on to the snap. And so the Trojans moving in from the 31 of Minneapolis North. This the big run to set up goal to go. That was Hunter Anderson to the outside. Excuse me, that was Chase Brenner to the outside, and then untouched, walking in for Nick Detloff, his first score of the game.
Yeah, Detloff goes right into the end zone, and right now this is a defining drive because you were 3 and out for the Polars, and it was a quick pass that fluttered, and then you tried a couple of runs that was nothing there. They need to just take a breath, and you're in a situation like this, don't panic. Say, listen, we got a lot of game here left, guys. Let's do what we do well. If they can't get the ball going offensively, they have not shut down the Trojan offense. This could be an all of a sudden major 3-score difference if they can't get this going.
50 points a game for the Polars. They'll run it. They'll have a hole. It's Porter out past the 30 before the Trojans rally. And that's what's in the back of your mind, Chris. You know the talent on this Minneapolis North offense, and a play like that, maybe that's the spark to get them to believe again, because you know that's what Coach Adams is preaching on the sideline. We can do this. We can score a lot more than 16 points.
Yeah, no, Charlie, that's exactly what he's saying. again. Just keep pounding the rock, doing what we do well. There's a perfect example of that. You don't go and you try to get all these points back. You have 16-point deficit right now. There's not a 16-point play. There's what you do well. Going right 2 plays up the middle.
Brown again. He'll run it. That's Porter, excuse me, running it again out past the 40 to the 45. And he's got the first down. Nothing but Porter in the regular season. 787 on the ground and 15 touchdowns. He had a 100 rush yard game in 3 of the first 4 this year right out of the gates for the Polars.
Well, it's this 3 straight handoffs right into the A gap. We'll see if they do something else here.
Nope. He'll go to the right side, and this time, though, on the little delay, Barnesville was there. And setting the edge, Hunter Zenzen, a junior defensive end, 11.5 tackles through the later part of the season to help close the year for Barnesville. And he closes that down, a 2-yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Just trying a little trap there, trying something different, but I like the idea. Ground control here. Give it to your athletes. You know what you have back there with Yeager. Just a nice tackle there by Barnesville.
4 wide receivers, a pitch option. Yeager keeps, winds his way to the logo, and he's bumped down into Barnesville territory. It'll be 3rd and short. And this has got to be 2-down territory right now. If they went for it the other time closer to the 35, now they're close to the Barnesville 45. And look at this pace, Chris. They're keeping that up, too, which is probably something Barnesville hasn't seen a whole lot of playing in the Midwest White.
We talked about pace in the other 2A game, the game with Paynesville and Caledonia. Paynesville, when they were successful in that game, actually upped the pace against Caledonia. We see that now with the Polars.
Porter stopped at the line. Just a 3-man defensive front, and big Brady Kroll, a sophomore at 6', 190, able to fill the hole. And it's 4th down and still 4th down and 2.
You know, motions like this now, you see nothing up the middle. They get great penetration. He was doubled in the initial from the nose. Linebacker coming up, making a nice play. Got to believe outside with Yeager here just to get his legs open.
4th down and 2. Again, they'll go straight up the middle and right at the point of attack. The Trojans are there to deny him the 45, and I think it's going to deny him the first down. Depends on the spot. And it is.
It's a turnover on downs. They denied him right there. Look at that run. He tried to put his head down right there. Porter goes through, but look at this, boom. 2 guys right there, and that's textbook. Shoulder into him. They got low. I mean, it was just, it was wills on each side, right? You got Porter against 2 guys, and they met at that half-yard line. Right there, turnover on downs. Trojans defensively, great stop for them.
Hunter Zenzen. By the way, check it out. If you're watching this game, you're back in Barnesville, you're somewhere in Minneapolis, you couldn't get here wherever you are. Tweet us a photo at him in Prep Spotlight. Let us know where you're watching this game or any of our state tournament games here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Tonsfeld, he's going to keep. Little trickeration. Put it in his holster as he goes to the left. He gets positive yardage into Minneapolis North territory. Taken down by Porter past the 50.
Wait, watch it right here. You could have said it better. He puts it in the holster right there. See that? He puts it away. That's pretty much, it's unbelievable, actually, when you put it right on your hip. That's the confidence right there. North actually saw that, and initially it was right out there, and it was just, that was the yardage they gained on that play. No trickery.
This time, no trickery, straight up the middle for Detloff. He's going to be short by about a half a yard, so he dives to the 45. That was the phrase that Coach Strand also used. It was sleight of hand. He was a little hesitant to say that because it almost maybe cheapens what they're trying to do because it is a skill, but let's face it, it is sleight of hand. You're trying to fool the guys on the other side.
Right, and I agree. It's like, as a coach, you never want to say, well, these are trick plays,
right,
or sleight of hand, but it's deception. You're playing deception in the football game. You want misdirection. So when I think of it, I think of those 2 words in this offense.
We'll go left side, and there's a tackle for loss. Quintrail Travis brings down Brenner and will bring up a 4th down for the first time for Barnesville. Number 50 in blue will knife through.
And that was a good play there. They guessed right, I guess the best way to put it is. He comes through that line. Watch. The block was there, and he just grabbed on, and he had the ball. So that deception right there didn't work. Hey, for the Polars, you got to be happy here. You had a little drive going, and you also now stopped this Trojan offense that was just marching all day long, forcing the punt here.
4th and 3, Snowball's the punter from his own 45, a high kick towards Omar Brown. Brown's going to let it hop, and it takes a north bounce. Hops back up over the 25, close to the 29-yard line. So forcing a punt, that's a tremendous step for Minneapolis North. After they turned it over on downs, they fumbled it away. That's their first 2 drives. They find themselves down by 2 scores, but back on offense to try and chip away.
Well, both teams have really settled into their game plans here. You know, the Trojans are going to bring it tackle to tackle, and you know offensively that's what they're going to try to do. On this last drive for the Polars, 3 consecutive handoffs right up the middle to Porter, and Porter was able to really, plow through it here. So we'll see if they get back to this or if they decide to get outside here. We haven't seen any passing since that first time.
Yeager drops and rolls, looking to throw, fires it out to the 35-yard line where the catch is made. He finds Omar Brown. So some positive yards there. Spot him at the 44, or the 34, excuse me, a pickup of 5.
Little short combo route where you just put somebody in the flat. You tell that outside receiver to hook in and make sure that you're just in a lane where you can see your quarterback's eyes. Nice little 5-6 yard completion on that one. That's the type of plays that you want because it creates success in drives. They're not big yardage plays, but they're confidence plays, and that's what you have to do if you get back to this game for Yeager.
Yeager has thrown multiple touchdown passes in 4 of his last 6 games. He drops back again here on a 2nd down and 5. Looking to the near side. Hands there and just in and out of the hands of Eli Campbell. The senior gave it a run, though, on a ball that was back to the inside as he trailed to the sideline.
Those hard sprint outs are hard throws. Look, he's on the right hash. You're asking your quarterback to go all the way to the sideline. Look at that throw.
Might have been tipped
all the way to the side. It does look like it was tipped. It wobbled out of there. But for that play, you talk about pro throws all the way across the field for maybe a 5-6 yard play, but the throw is 20 yards in the air. So difficult throw right there.
0 for 2 on 3rd down. It's a 3rd and 5. They'll run the jet sweep, and around the right side goes Elamine, and he's past the 40 for the first down to the 43.
Strong running right there. I love it. Jetting into it. So he jets into that motion. He gets good blocking out front. But watch right there. The initial contact was at the 38. He almost ends up getting 6 yards after contact right there. That's a good 5 yards after the contact and willing to that first down.
First time with a first down in this game. North going deep, looking for Campbell near side. He's got it inside the 20 and pushed out of bounds. And now the Polars cooking a little bit on offense. Tonsfeld able to force the ball carrier out. Campbell's first catch. He had a couple of scores, including one last week.
Well, it was too deep there. Usually you have that help over the top. But because the field is so wide, he lines up almost in the middle of the field for the wide receiver position. The fade goes on the outside. Beautiful job, beautiful catch. And this is the Polars JW that we thought we'd see here today.
A 41-yard strike ends the quarter. We'll come back with the Polars in business. 16-0 Barnesville the lead on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Are you sick, got the flu, do you feel not right? Hit your head so hard that you lost your sight? Who to call, where to go with your plight? The emergency room, that's right.
Working as part of a team, meeting deadlines, managing time, and taking care of customers are valuable skills for any career. You can learn them all at McDonald's. Whatever your goals and wherever they take you, a McDonald's job offers flexible hours and education benefits now that can help you build your future. For more information, go to your local McDonald's or visit restaurantjobs.mcdonalds.com.
It was a first quarter dominated by Barnesville early. They score 16 points on their first 2 drives. Minneapolis North helps them out with a fumble and turning it over on downs. Preston Snowball, the first tally of the game for Barnesville. He also tacked on a 2-point conversion. North, the fumble. This is their first offensive possession. That turned into 8 more points for Barnesville. And it's been all Trojans until the last as Nick Detloff scored the 2nd touchdown of the quarter. But a 49-yard pass has Minneapolis North in the red zone for the first time, trailing at 16-0. From the 16-yard line, a roll to the right for Yeager. Surveys, has time, still looking. He'll fire this one down and just throw it out of bounds. Nobody a chance. 3 defenders, 2 wide receivers down in the end zone.
Yeah, just rolling out. Good coverage on that one. The pressure from the Trojan defense was forcing the 12th man, and that's the sideline. And I like the coverage. They keep it deep. They know it's a prolific passing game. Yeager can light it up through the air. We just saw it on the last pass to end the first quarter, but they were playing deep over the top. So good coverage right there by the Barnesville Trojan defense.
So a 2nd down and 10. This drive has also featured the first third down conversion of the game for Minneapolis North. They went forward on fourth down twice. Once fumbled it and once were denied. Yeager set up with a man in the backfield. They'll jet sweep it ahead to Elamine instead, and he'll turn the corner with a flag down behind. Knows the football inside the 13. A lot of motion there with Porter diving forward and then acting as a blocker. And it's a hold on North, so they'll move back and have a 2nd and 20.
Yeah, the jet motion, it'll be an easy call here. You'll see on the outside just a little too much jersey grab. And, again, that's something that is for the Polars. They want to get that jet motion into the game, because if they get into the game, then you have Porter up the middle again, and they need a good balance between outside, inside running. We're starting to see Yeager throw the ball here around a little bit, but if they can get that jet motion in, that will only help Yeager and Porter in the middle start doing what they did well here, and that second drive was just straight up running. We may see it actually right here.
They backed it up to the 27, so it's 2nd and 21. Not sure why they put it on the 27, not the 26, unless it was a spot foul, but 2nd and long, let's just say it. Yeager fires it out to the left side, and he put it on the hands of Daniel Crandall, and Crandall couldn't haul it in. It's a 3rd down and 20 plus.
Yeah, those are the plays you got to draw in. Crandall knew it right away. Just a little speed out here. Nice throw, beautiful spot placement, and Crandall just dropped it on that one, and you can see right here the frustration. He wished he would have had that one back. But again, just a little speed out, nothing fancy, right in the playbook. Again, the Trojans right there. The Trojans are willing to give that up, the 5-6 yard pass with the tackle here, especially with the 3rd and double here. It's nothing deep, too deep here for the Trojans. Don't give it up over the top.
63% passer in the regular season for Yeager. He's got a 3rd and a mile here. He drops back with pressure coming up the middle, avoids it, steps through, fires towards Elamine in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Batted away. The ball stayed off the turf for an awful long time, but the coverage downfield from Hunter Anderson.
It's a twist route on the right side here, so you got a guy doing a post, and then underneath you guy running a chair. He throws it into the double coverage. But again, trying to make something happen here. We'll see a great shot here from the TV. There's the twist. And with the 2 deep, that safety can just pick the guy who goes up. So he's going to be the double over the top in the first place. But 4th down here, there's really no play in anybody's playbook for a position like this. You just got to get in your playmaker's hands, see what can happen.
Got to get inside the 6. They'll go a little reverse action. Find Brown. Brown breaks a tackle. 15-10. Tiptoes his way ahead. And did he make it? No, he's going to be a yard short. The spot has him a yard short. He couldn't avoid the white paint. And they'll turn it over on downs at the 7.
Little pass and pitch here. Great design, great play. But really, Barnesville sniffed that out. They were there. It was just the speed of the guy who received the pitch getting on the outside. You notice that outside defender had the contain, but he just got out hustled on the outside, and I thought he was going to reach for the first down, but just comes up short.
16-0 as Barnesville comes back out. And we've said misdirection a couple of times, Chris, and this is misdirection to a T. It's a tough job, but the cameramen have to do it, and it's always tough to follow the ball. And so far, Barnesville, well, they're not unbeaten because our camera's gotten shots of their touchdown, but Barnesville's winning a little bit as our camera guys figure it out for the first time, seeing Barnesville here as there's a run off the right side. Kellen Hins this time out past the 20 to the 23, and that's a big gain on first down.
Well, I don't envy the position of the camera people here, because the misdirection, that's probably the best option right there, because you have the white hat. That's a good shot right there. But after that, count me out, because everybody else is looking around. I'm looking at our screens. I'm looking down there and just hoping to see a glimmer of the football. And then you're like, okay, I got it from there.
So Tonsfeld packs him in under center with a 1st and 10 outside the 20. It's the first man through, Detloff this time, who tumbles down just shy of the 25. Short gain there at the 24, so a solid tackle. And again, a knife in there for, I believe that was Quintrell Travis, who was able to bring him down quickly.
One of the things, too, for the Polars, JW, is they've only had one opportunity all year, I believe, and that's against Breck, that they were playing from behind. They're front runners. They're used to being out front. they have the ability to score quick here, but this is a position they haven't been in most of the season.
2nd and 9. Tonsfeld keeps again. Tonsfeld cuts back with space. A whole lot of green running away from the defense. They'll catch him from behind and try and punch it out, but Tonsfeld hangs on to it down to the 23-yard line. Omar Brown was hunting the fumble here. You'll see it at the end of the play, but this little cutback right around the 25, bang, and he's got all kinds of room to run.
Yeah, I like you call it that holster play where he puts it in the holster there. And I also like the ability for the Polars down there. They weren't looking for the shoestring tackle. They were looking for the turnover. When you have a big play like that, watch at the end here. I believe it was Brown who punched in here. I love this right there. You see that? That's taking a chance. Rather than go for the shoestring tackle, go for the ball on that one and see what happens.
Tonsfeld gives off the right side, and it's a run for Hunter Anderson, who peels ahead to the 16-yard line. So from 24 to 24, basically, on that run for Tonsfeld. We've had 5, make it 6 different ball carriers in this game. They've now got over 100 yards.
Look how tight the quarterback is to the handoffs. On that play, that initial fullback that dove through the left A-gap right there, he just barely brushed the quarterback, and then the handoff happens. It's so quick. When you watch these plays, look how tight they are.
Tonsfeld, he'll keep it again, running behind Brennan, and he's brought down this time on the edge by Ware. 38 tackle man in the regular season, plus an interception for Tarquarius Ware. And a timeout is going to be taken by Minneapolis North. Polars do get the football to start the second half, but they're going to need a stop here. Again, at some point to avoid going down by 3 scores. We'll take a pause. Come back after this with Barnesville trying to drive. They've got a first down and 10 inside the 15 of Minneapolis North, leading 16-0 on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Got this microphone on my shirt up here, kid.
Every Sunday night at 9:30, catch Minnesota Prep Spotlight on 45 TV. We'll have all the highlights as well as feature stories on athletes, coaches, and others who are shaping the Minnesota Prep sports world. Filmed on location at a different school each week, Minnesota Prep Spotlight is the most comprehensive sports show in the state. Tune in Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on 45 TV or catch every episode online at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Back inside U.S. Bank Stadium, J.W. Cox, Chris O, our entire PrepSpotlight.tv crew. So we've got Minneapolis North, the number 2 team in the state, the Polars, down 16-0 to the Barnesville Trojans, unranked coming into this one. Coming out of their section with a big-time victory over Hawley, a revenge victory over Hawley as well. They lost 19-18 the second week of the regular season. Lost again after that to Breckenridge. Coach Strand said those 2 losses, as they often can, Chris, galvanized his team, and they knew that they could get something done, and so far they have.
Well, and again, it's rivalry games up there. It's a lot of like town traditions. I love it. It's what Minnesota football is all about.
Tonsfeld off the right side, space at the 5, and a little room ahead for Hins. He's down to the 3 before the Polars bring him down, and it is goal to go now from the 3, already up 16-0.
Well, when they were in this position before, the Trojans, they just went shotgun with a little motion, trying to get the linebacker to move. I would imagine here, you're under center, you're on the 2-yard line. We'll see if their ability here is just to do the same, and that is fullback A-gap action. The Polars, we got to remember here, JW, this is a good defense. They are one of the better defenses here in 2A, shutting most of their opponents down. And this Trojan offense is just getting after it.
The number 2 defense in the class. Tonsfeld gives left side for Brenner, and he'll dive ahead. Another touchdown for the Trojans, and there's your 3-score margin with just under 9 minutes to go in half number 1. It is 22-0.
It's just moving forward here. It's impressive here, this offense.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4 on the defense.
Unsportsmanlike on Crandall.
Well, if you're North,
penalty will be assessed
the ability
on the kickoff.
to make sure that you're playing within the system is huge. And I know Charlie Adams talks about that often. You want to make sure the timeout that he took there was about that. It was about, we can't go 3 scores down. Let's get a stop here. Let's turn it over. Now they've punched it in, and now the penalty. They need to make sure that they play within their system here, or Barnesville could really start running the score here.
Detloff, the only deep back, as Tonsfeld goes under center, trying for a third straight 2-point conversion. He's going to throw for the first time, has a man, and it's batted away. He was eyeing Preston Snowball coming off the line, and it was denied down front by Quantrell Jackson. So it stays 22-0. First time they failed on a 2-point conversion.
You watch sidelines. You watch them as an analyst. You watch them as coaches. You watch them as fans. And that's important because you get to this point, you want to make sure you worry about the things you can worry about. Each individual drive, each individual opportunity. North right now, a little dejected. You can tell helmets are coming off a little bit. Coaches are getting them together. I like that atmosphere. Barnesville, they're tight on their sideline. They're tight on the atmosphere over there. It's going to be interesting here at half. And barring that the score isn't changing or even if somebody can get back into this game, adjustments that need to be made are the ability to tell your players, hey, we're here for a reason. And right now, Barnesville, this 22-0 lead offensively, I don't think the Polars have an answer for it.
3 possessions for the Polars. Fumble, 2 turnovers on downs. There have been 4 possessions for Barnesville who started the football game with possession. They've scored on 3 of the 4. And now they'll kick it away again with Minneapolis North looking for some kind of spark. They did drive the ball much better on their last drive. That was stymied by a yard down at the 7.
Well, this personal foul penalty now puts it onto the 45 on the Polar side. I don't know if you kick it out of the end zone here or drive it. We'll see.
Connor Morse, offensive lineman and kicker, the rare combo. He'll put it on the ground down towards the 10, and tough hop to field for Daniel Crandall, so he just falls on it to maintain possession at the 17.
I like the play call on that one. Just drive it through and get it to the ground.
Well, we saw a lot more of what we've seen all game, the run.
The holster play, I like that call. Just put it right in the hip. And right there, I still like the Polars going down trying to punch it on that field. But there again, you see here the deception. Look how tight that is. You don't know where it's at. I mean, Elk River is the one here a few years ago that has got it going. And now we're going to see 3 teams here in the state semifinals, Lakeville South, now Barnesville, and Elk River, who are running this type of offense.
Chase Brenner eventually the score. Some misdirection. Porter avoids a tackle for loss and has to do a whole lot of hard work to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think he just did for no gain. Clock continues to move inside of 8.5. They had the little fake on the jet sweep that time, which you mentioned. If they can do that successfully, it opens things up straight up the middle for Porter, but not that time.
Look at how many Trojans with the ball right there. The jet sweep, they saw it wasn't there. There were 2 guys initially on the initial contact and then 6 guys on the tackle. So a lot of swarming going on right now from this defense for the Trojans.
Porter 7 carries for 29 yards. He sets up in the backfield again behind Yeager, who's just 3 of 8 through the air for 46. 3 down linemen up front. Yeager fires across to the near side for Brown. Brown at the 20, shakes one man, then another as he's able to nose the football to the 26-yard line. Omar Brown with another grab. He was a favorite target, had 4 catches last week for 22 yards for the 6', 175-pound senior.
3rd and short here, and this is a lot better scenario if you're a Polar fan. You don't want the 3rd and long, 7, 8, 9 yards. You want the ability right here to just kind of pound it in.
They'll go with Porter. He step farms a man in the hole and is able to push his way past the 30 to the 32. And that gives them the first down. Much needed here. Still plenty of time in this first half. They get possession to start the second half, down by 3 scores. They can make it a game. Comes back to that execution.
That trap block right there came from the slot receiver. Kind of nice little intuitive motion there.
Jet sweep for Omar Brown. He's able to turn the corner. They say knee down at the 39-yard line on a gain of 7. Be second down and a long 3 coming up.
There's the give to the Jet. You got a lead blocker out front. The mix of the Jet is going to help them loosen up the defense from the linebacker position if you're the Trojans, because Porter, then they locked it down, then get the Jet. I love the play calls right now.
Yeager, short pass. Again, he's looking for Brown, and he's got the completion. He ran a route to the sticks, and he's got the first down. moving it out to the 45.
And the reason I love the play calls, it's not trying to get the big play. They're just doing what they're doing well and get 5 yards here. They need to get a score. They need to see the end zone. And right now, that little hitch route, just get a completion, move the chains, keep going down the field, and then figure it out defensively.
Man going in motion. They'll fake that motion and move it straight up the middle for Porter, and he'll dive off past the 50 on the right side to the 48-yard line to nose the football into the territory of the Trojans.
Just a straight handoff here again. Got a little seal up front here. Hard running by the running back. You know, Porter has been the guy for them today as far as the attempts.
And again, he'll run it this time straight into traffic, so he stopped after a short gain of about 1.5 yards. Down shy of the 46. They need the 45-yard line for a first down. Porter, 17 carries for 78 and 2 touchdowns last week. He averaged close to 5 yards per carry. And there's a Trojan down in the middle of the field. It's Hunter Zenzen is one of their top tacklers, just a junior. This defense for Barnesville, I don't think they're going to be surprised by much of anything that Minneapolis North does. In talking to their coach, Brian Strain, he called his kids film junkies. He said he's never really seen a team, and you don't see a lot of high school teams necessarily. They're as committed to watching film as his defense is. They can pick up tendencies, and they haven't really been shocked by much of anything yet, and there can be certainly some significant moves that the Polars do throughout the game.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a tale of two different teams here, and especially offensively with the Trojans coming in that double tight end, tight T, motion types
first time out of the half.
Of actions. And it's a good point, JW. They defensively, from the Trojans' perspective, they know what they see on film, and North is giving them a lot. You know, and the Redwood Valley game was more true to probably what Barnesville was going to see. A little, the elements would have been different, but a more smash mouth type of atmosphere. And again, I appreciate as far as the kid who's going to watch the film, like get the tendencies, see what they're doing. If they're pulling in front of you, you go with them. Get on his curtails and go. And this North offense right now, it's moving. They just need to finish. They just need to get over that goal line and get some confidence back there.
That's going to be a big thing, a big factor the rest of the way. How can the confidence of North stay high here, despite the fact they've been punched in the mouth by this Barnesville rushing attack? 3rd down and 1. Got to pick it up here. They'll go on the ground with Porter, and he put it down in the deck. It's recovered right in the lap of Joey Mark for Barnesville. The last thing you would want to have happen, the second fumble of the game for Minneapolis North.
Well, we'll just see right here. It almost looks like a drop. It's exactly what happened. He never got the ball inside.
Make sure we're buckled up, guys.
As that RPO type of quarterback motion, you got to get that ball inside of the numbers, and he had it right on the hip. That was doomed from the get-go, and it just bounced right into the Trojans' hands.
So far, Minneapolis North, the team that's made the mistakes today, and Barnesville has not. And it's not just the turnovers, but some of the little things that they haven't executed on offense. And now this offense for the Trojans, led by a 8th grader with his hand on the football right now, snapping it back. He's got Tonsfeld under center. More on that in a moment. Right side, the run for Hins. He's looking for the edge, and he gets there and turns the corner down to the 47-yard line.
I could be wrong, but that might be the first designed outside tackle motion that we've seen today. Watch the lead. See, the lead is looking outside, and he's designed to seal and run out there. The Polars, when they line up defensively, watch them, JW, they have 2 guys on each side out. They're saying, hey, our big boys are going to stop it up the middle. The success from the Trojans has been that deception up the middle, so that's really the first outside look that we've seen.
And they'll run back up the middle, and Detloff springs free out of the smoke to the 30, to the 20, and he's got one man to beat, and he's brought down by Campbell in the secondary inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line on a pickup of 35.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't see that. I was watching the outside action, and then they caught me right there because I thought the quarterback had the ball when we were looking down the sideline. Great deception there. You can see. Look at the Polars. Yep. You see the helmets turning? They're looking for where the ball is at, and that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to stop. They want you to look for that, and everybody was flat-footed on that one.
I've got to correct myself. The 8th grader is at guard. It's Jackson Pepping. It's still impressive enough to have an 8th grader playing on this type of offense in a spot like that. There is some experience in Johnny Robidoux, who's the center, as he'll try and block out in front, and Detloff this time nowhere to go as Keon Porter fills the hole. But overall, outside of Robidoux in the middle at the center spot, it is a very, very young offensive line that is putting this work together for Barnesville.
And an in-sync offensive line. And when you talk 8th grade, come on, it takes a long time for offensive lines to generate that type of relationship. To ask somebody to come into that, that's the impressive part. The physicality and just the ability to do it, that's one thing, but in sync is another.
And it looks like North jumped off sides here unless somebody moved to draw him off. Flags come down, a man in the neutral zone. It'll be a 2nd and 5 coming up. And that's exactly what Coach Strand said about Jackson Pepping. He doesn't back down from anybody. You got to have that mentality if you're going to be thrust into that type of situation.
Right, and that's the first hard snap that we've seen today. It's usually been on the 1 count. You can see it right there. And he knew it. Hands of the helmet. Those are things, that's football. There's nothing to fault the kid. His ability to want to get back there. I mean, Stewart wants to get back there. And that's what he's trying, and they just got him on the hard snap.
Team leader in sacks this year. Right side, another run for Hunter Anderson. And he'll dive inside the 3. They needed the 2-yard line for a first down. It's awfully close. See if they drop the sticks. Have another goal-to-go situation.
Right there. That middle gets bunched up. They think that the ball's on the inside. He just goes on the right side guard tackle gap there.
Time out for measurement.
Puts his head in there. It's going to be close. It looks like he possibly has the first down.
They're going to measure it here at the 2-yard line, so we bring on the chains for the first time. There's less than 4 minutes to go, as you can see, and it's a 3-score lead for Barnesville. Another fumble, the 2nd of the game for Minneapolis North. Sets them up with short field position just shy of midfield. And a big-time run for Nick Detloff. Put him into scoring position. A penalty made it 2nd and 5, and now the run for Hunter Anderson makes it goal to go from the 2 after the measurement.
Well, you know, it's been Barnesville's day here in the first half. Here's another reason why. Both their drives here successfully have had, instead of the sticks at the 10, it's just been far enough where it was like 12-yard line and then 1st and 10. They could punch in another first down going into the end zone. You need a little bit of luck right there. Now you got 4 plays here to go in. And again, the Polars haven't necessarily stopped this play. I would imagine just going right straight up the middle.
Barnesville, they will go left side with Brenner, and he is in. Chase Brenner's 2nd touchdown run of the game. He's got the last 2, and Barnesville streaking out to the 28-0 lead. Brenner off the left.
The seal, the kick out, and the punch in. That's been it today for the Trojans. You see the seal on the inside. There's the kick. Nothing fancy. They're scripted football, and they're doing it well here today.
No goal on the 2-point conversion. By the way, the worst drive start that Barnesville has had, their own 46-yard line. This drive started at their own 48. That's their 2nd worst starting field position. Started at the North 38. Check that. They did have the one that started back at the 7 after that 4th down they couldn't get as a flag comes out. So that one's the
Good
worst.
Ball.
It'll be a delay.
Delay game on the offense.
4 out of 5 drives starting at least at the 45 or better.
Well, you can see Barnesville, they have a specific 2-point conversion package. And I would imagine here, now with the penalty, if they're going to try to go back to their traditional offense, but we'll see what they do.
The only pass of the game came the last time they tried a 2-point conversion for Barnesville, the only pass of the game. Tonsfeld on the year, he played hurt on defense early in the season, didn't really start at quarterback until week 6.
Second time
Barnesville's going to take a timeout. 11 of 24 through the air. He did throw a couple of touchdowns in the regular season.
Tough to take a timeout there after a delay game penalty, too. And
well, we'll take a pause. We're late in the first half. It's all Barnesville here in this 2A semifinal for the right to take on Caledonia next week right here on PrepSpotlight.tv. 3:43 to go here in this first half. Barnesville trying to cap off already their 4th touchdown of the game. They've got 28 points up there. But they've gone all 2-point conversion. They hit the first 2, missed the last one. And now after a delay of game, Tonsfeld is going to roll to the right again, has plenty of protection, firing for the end zone, and it's overthrown and batted away. Good jump ball batted down by Omar Brown as they look to Grant Iniger on the far side.
Well, just a rollout pattern, and you could tell that was a little bit of uncomfortable play calling for the Trojans. They would rather have had the situation where they could have lined up tackle to tackle, tight end to tight end. And their forte, it definitely isn't rolling out and spreading it out. It's packing it in. And right now, you know, Barnesville is totally in control of this game offensively.
Coaching staff, as you talked about, I think it was 2 scores ago now, trying to keep Minneapolis North in it, heads up, mentally. Keep thinking positive thoughts because
the clock,
yeah,
operator,
it's 28. Yeah,
please
it's
correct
a big
timeouts.
big time deficit, but you get the ball right now.
Barnesville
this offense built to score. They could score quick with big plays.
Minneapolis
you get
North
the football back, and all of a sudden you're in a
timeouts
2-score game again with a lot of the second half to play if you go out and execute against a tough
Please
Barnesville
correct the
Trojans
timeouts
team.
on
Yeah,
the
for
scoreboard.
North, they've stalled offensively. It hasn't been
Barnesville
like they've
has
been 3 and
2
outs.
timeouts remaining.
I could be
Sorry,
wrong, but the
Barnesville has
only 3
1
and out I really
timeout
remember was
remaining.
the first series.
Minneapolis
and
North
they went,
has 2
drop
timeouts
pass
remaining.
and a couple runs that just weren't there. Other than that, they've had movement, and it has resulted in fumbles, turnovers, penalties, those type of things. Where the North Polars, we saw that big pass, and they thought, okay, here they're getting back into this game, and then it's just those little things, the penalties and the turnovers that it cost them offensively.
16 in the first, couple of 2-point conversions completed for Burnsville, 12 points here in the second. Another bouncing kick. This one ends up getting past Omar Brown. He settles at the 10, looking for space on a broken return. He's able to nose it past the 20 to the 21-yard line with 3.5 minutes to go here in this first half. Barnesville, more of what we've seen, this time coming off the fumble again. It's the second time that Minneapolis North has put it on the deck. The recovery out there for Joey Mark, and then the run. And it was the misdirection, the deception, Detloff, the big one, to get him down into scoring position.
Yeah, and Detloff just coming again. He was straight up the middle. You see the seal right there and the little kick. They're just doing Trojan offense the way that they're trying to teach this system and this double tight end system, and they're doing a nice job with their pickups today.
Yeager wants to throw, does throw, has his man over the middle, Omar Brown, but an immediate tackle made out in space by Adrian O'Brien to keep him to no yards after the catch, and a short gain out to the 22.
Little speed out there. They get the ball. Watch the stretch here. He gets it maybe a little bit more on that one, but again, Trojans right there with a clean tackle.
2nd down and 9. Clock spinning towards 3 minutes to go. Little stunt up front for an extra blitzer. He does not come. Pass goes to Elamine out of the backfield. He's got it and has the first down to the 33-yard line. Picks up 11 on the 2nd down and 9.
And they're trying to get things short here. Get a player down.
I'm
watch
out of the
this
field
little pass.
for an injury.
Again, put it in your athlete's hands. Don't travel through the air with the ball. Make it a short pass and let the athlete do the work, and I like that play call.
Elamine had the game-winning touchdown catch. He's the one who is down as well on the far side. Part of a season-high 102-yard day, averaging 20 per catch last week for Nasser Elamine. And his helmet is off. They will help him up now, but he's clearly in some pain.
Coach Adams coming out there too. Hopefully everything's all right. You never want injury in any level of sport, especially here at high school sports. Want to play clean, but you knew right away where you saw that replay that on the tackle, it just looked like a rollover.
Putting a little more weight on it as he gets across the field, but still not a whole lot. So at 28-0 after his first down catch, he'll sit. And that takes one playmaker off the field. One proven playmaker. Marlon Ridley will be the wide receiver who comes in to replace him. He had 9 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. He'll set up as a wing on the right side where the big 6'2" Elamine had played. Kind of that hybrid tight end spot. 3 other wide receivers, and the tailback is Porter. Roll out for Yeager, pressure in his face, gets it down the field, has a man near the sideline, and a great late effort play over the top by Adam Tonsfeld, the opposing quarterback, to knock it away and make it 2nd down and 10.
Great coverage on this play. I thought they were going to have a heck of a play developing right here. The ball was delivered right in the hands, right there. Comes up with the strip and the successful coverage on that one. It would have been a great 1st down. Nice little 2nd level deep route out on that one. Good defense by the Trojan secondary.
That was all 5'9" of Adam Tonsfeld, reaching and lunging and diving to slap that one away. Sophomore making a play at 2nd and 10. A design read for Yeager on a delay, and he dives out past the 40. He's got the 1st down to the 44-yard line. Picks up 11. First time we've seen him take off and go.
It was a design draw here. He had the guy out in front. Did a one little step, then tucked it away, got the block. Actually a nice tackle there by the Trojans, or else he gets him another 10 yards on the play. So moving the chains is exactly what the Polars need. Keep that confidence moving here offensively.
Looked like Jackson Pepping was able to knock him off his skis. And a timeout going to be taken by Barnesville. One of their 2 that they had left. Minneapolis North still has a timeout. They're trying to drive with less than 2.5 minutes to go. They'll get the football to start the 2nd half, trying to put something on the board and start the snowball effect in their favor. We're at US Bank Stadium for the semifinals of the Class 2A state football tournament. Barnesville making their way here, their 6th overall trip reaching the state tournament. They came here in 2016. The first year was at US Bank Stadium, lost to Caledonia. And that was another 11:30 game on the 18th of November back in 2016. A little bit of parallel there, but that's all a part of Caledonia's 53-game winning streak. So Barnesville and Minneapolis North, one of the victories for Caledonia in that stretch.
Right. And we talked early, JW, it's opposite of the bracket. You talk about teams that are rolling. The Caledonia Warrior team is facing whoever is the victor here today. But getting back to this game and Barnesville, just offensively, it's been impressive right now. They've been clicking on all cylinders here. And even when they've stalled, they've gone right back to it. It's just the fact that the Polars have stepped up here. So let's see if the North offense here can get something going and not stall. They're moving forward. They just need to punch it in.
From their own 44. Still a long way to go. That went into traffic, but winds its way to Omar Brown. He's short of the sticks, but into Trojans territory at the 48-yard line.
Slant stop route. Watch it. It's deep. He's trying to get over the linebackers, and then you just get into the area where you can see the quarterback's eyes. You actually don't follow through on the slant. You stop. He delivered the ball nicely. Nice little pass play there by the Polars.
Keeps the clock moving. Under 2 minutes now here in the first half. Just into the territory of the Trojans. Little swing out to Elamine. Good to see him back out there, and he is gone. And North, for the first time in the semifinals, will put 6 on the board. Nasser Elamine, the senior, finds his way in 2 straight weeks with a touchdown here in the postseason.
Wow, great to see him back in, but more importantly, full speed. Look at this. He catches the little slip screen there. And watch the acceleration right here. They had angles, 2 angles to make at least an attempt at a tackle. And he turns on the jets. This first one right here and the second one right there. That's all Elamine on that one. All athletic ability. Great to see him back in here. But more importantly, getting the Polars. We talked about a JW, the ability to cross the goal line. All of their offense is stalled today, and now we get them back on the scoreboard.
They're going to go for a 2-point conversion as well. Neither of these teams a whole lot of kicking throughout the year to speak of, so not surprising they're both looking for the extra points, even though don't necessarily need it down 28-6. That pass is caught. Was he in? And they say no. Eventually it's wrestled out of the hands of Campbell, and the play coming over the top that time from Chase Brenner.
Yeah, look, I thought he might have completed the pass, and that's what he's probably coming up and saying, hey, I got the ball. But I actually don't think it punched over the goal line there. So play probably was complete. We'll take a peek here. Bobbled and tucked. And they're saying he never had control until the very end. Official right there with the call and the play.
You might be right, though. It might technically be a completed catch, but the wave of the arms to the officials was no good on the 2-point conversion. So one way or the other, it didn't get in for 2 points. So it's 28-6, back to a 22-point margin. The drive moving down the field in just shy of 2 minutes. Just like that, Minneapolis North puts points on the board, going 78 yards to score. Nasser El-Amin.
Pullers needed that one desperately. It was a 28-0 going into this. And again, JW, they didn't go down the field. You know, people think that you have to chew up yardage by passing deep or passing in that second level. All their passes were short passes. Even the slants that happened there, they were only 6-7 yards through the air. They got the ball into their athletes' hands. When El-Amin caught that pass, he used his athletic ability full speed to score on that one. So I like the play calls. I would even call it almost conservative.
The call on the field has been reversed.
Chew it up with big-time passes downfield.
Good.
They're going to win this. They're going to have to get some stops as well, so no need to really jump the gun.
Well, they just had a reversal here. They gave them the 2 points.
So it is a 2-point conversion off the review, so it's 20-8. As this one's taken, another reverse fake. Again, the ball in the holster of a Trojan. And it's Preston Snowball this time. He keeps it, moves past the 25 to the 27.
You know, remember, too, for viewers here in Minnesota and beyond, we have the ability to do that replay.
Back to Minneapolis North, and Chris, you're going to see exactly what you talked about. The short passes. That's the one where El-Amin was injured, but it was nothing deep down the field. Try and make plays after the catch.
Yep, and these are all design plays. You know, the little quarterback draw right there, the touchdown right here. They had 2 angles. That's the first one, and that's the second one. That shows you the speed there with the injured El-Amin.
Straight up the middle, and that means Detloff as he spins ahead. As he tucks behind the center, Jackson Pepping, the senior, playing on both sides of the ball. Pepping blocking out for Detloff.
And for Detloff, did you see that 2-hand tuck on the run? That's designed. You coach that in that offense. You know, we talked some other games here where running backs, you ask them to take a hand off the ball and become a running back. It's the deception of, am I holding the ball? So if we get some shots here of him not holding the ball, it'll look the same with or without it.
Tonsfeld, this time he'll stick it in the belly of the back off the right side, and it's Hunter Anderson who's able to pick up the first down close to midfield at the 47. Picks up 13. Now, do they have time to march down the field and score? 2 timeouts. Check that, no timeouts for Barnesville. 2 timeouts for Minneapolis North as we're under 55 seconds to go.
Time ticking here, and there's no sense of urgency for the Trojans. You know, it was 49 seconds, and the time is moving, so they're confident here, really kind of casual up to the line.
Tonsfeld will keep. He had the big run last time. He avoids a man in the hole, and he's ripped down rudely. Once he gets the first down, Omar Brown with the aggressive tackle at the 39. Solid form tackle for Omar Brown in space. 36 seconds as they move the chains.
Trojan down here.
So keep
officials timeout.
Clock paused, and that's Snowball. Slow to get up.
And again, you know, 36 seconds here. Trojans no timeout, so they'll crank the clock here when you get to the line. So I'm surprised they're not getting up to the line with a little bit of pep here. The Trojans trying to get back into the 2-minute type of feel.
It's just always interesting to see with an offense like this what exactly is a 2-minute drill when you're running this all-run game offense. But really, it just has to come down to being set and ready to go for the very next play.
We haven't seen a pass out of this yet. I would imagine here, one of these next 2 or 3 plays, it's going to be a misdirection boot.
First down and 10 inside the North 40. Tonsfeld delays to Anderson again, left side looking for his blockers, and instead is run in to Omar Brown, who set the edge, dropped him back. It's a positive gain on forward progress to the 36.
They're going to have to spike the ball here. The time's just going to click off the clock, and they're not even rushing up. They're not going to get a play off here. 10 seconds and the clock ticking.
And I think they're fine with it, up 28-8. They won't make another mistake, but Minneapolis North, you'd have to say after this stop, they got the touchdown, a little bit of momentum, down by 20 as we go to the half. Barnesville 28. They were out to a 28-0 lead. Minneapolis North with the ball coming back to them in the second half. Put 8 on the board late. Trail it by 20. It's the Class 2A semifinal. Winner gets Caledonia next week. Got it right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
McDonald's restaurant employees acquire valuable life skills to use in whatever field they pursue, whether in the restaurant or beyond. While you're learning to meet deadlines and work in a fast-paced team environment, McDonald's offers restaurant employees flexible hours and education benefits that include ESL courses for language learners, earning a high school diploma, academic advising, and college tuition assistance. For more information, go to your local McDonald's or visit restaurantjobs.mcdonalds.com. Now here's an example of a manager who lets McDonald's work for her and her family's schedule.
Hi, I'm Carla, and I'm a general manager here in Minnesota. When I was growing up, my mom used to take us to McDonald's as a reward because of our good grades and helping out at home. Hi, can I help you? When I first started at McDonald's, my mom was actually my first customer, and she actually embarrassed me that first day because she was like, "You have to smile more. You look like you're angry." I have 3 kids. The oldest one is 12. I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. Working with my schedule and my kids' schedule is actually pretty good because McDonald's give me that flexibility. I don't miss any fun moments with my kids. Hi guys, how are you today?
Good.
How are you? I'm good. So you kind of have 2 families. You have your McDonald's family and your regular family. My regular customers are part of the family. When they don't come, I usually kind of get worried if something happened to them. The one thing I would like people to know about working for McDonald's is that it's a fun place to work. Now serving guests 341. Thank you. Have a great day. There's different opportunities. There's growth within the company, and you could go as far as you want.
28-8 here at the break as Minneapolis North scores in their final touchdown drive of the first half. Their only touchdown drive of the first half after Barnesville jumped down to a 28-0 lead. J.W. Cox alongside Chris Ohm here on PrepSpotlight.tv. And that first half, Chris, we're going to see in these highlights a whole lot of Barnesville running the football, and they ran that offense to a T. Preston Snowball with the first of 4 rushing touchdowns in the half.
Well, it was really impressive offensively to see Barnesville run that double tight end, tight T offense. And, here we see the fumble. And again, when you're 10 yards out and you're going into the end zone untouched, I mean, they run that deception as good as anybody. And they're a very oriented offense. Rep it out. They're very pick up your person. And it's been fun here watching this offense. The Polars getting back on the board was big because if they didn't have an answer or a score there, this would have been just a one-sided, lopsided Barnesville going into the third quarter type of feel.
Nasser El-Amin, the lone touchdown for Minneapolis North. Too many mistakes as well that Minneapolis North had in that first half. Couple of fumbles, turned it over on downs a couple of different times, and allowed Barnesville to have those successful drives and back-to-back touchdowns a couple of times that put them up by 4 scores. Right now it's a 3-score lead at the half. As we are at the break, we remind you that the sports world has drastically changed the way we look at concussions. The latest major advancement comes with the ability to accurately measure impacts to the head through the use of a high-tech mouth guard. Minnesota Prep Spotlight recently featured a Twin Cities company who's at the forefront of this new technology.
The mouth guard. Athletes have been wearing them for a half-century. The purpose behind this piece of equipment has always been about saving teeth and pretty smiles. Beginning very soon, a new high-tech mouthguard might be credited with saving contact sports. You see, the connection to the upper row of your teeth and your skull is telling researchers and medical professionals a really compelling story about the effects of head impacts.
Believe it or not, the biggest challenge in measuring a head impact is having the sensors stay on the head. So we chose to use an instrumented mouthguard for our approach because that's the most reliable way to have the sensors stay on the teeth. Once we can do that, we can actually make the calculations we need to relate the motion of the mouth to the motion of the skull.
And then they had to develop an algorithm that calculated a point in space from the mouthguard where the accelerometers were measuring the impact, calculate a point in space that was the center of gravity of the head and the brain. So that was really the secret sauce that they developed at the Cleveland Clinic. So they were able to accurately measure peak linear acceleration, which is the head moving like this, and they were able to measure peak angular acceleration, which is rotation, so you get hit on the side and your head rotates.
The science began in Ohio as 3 renowned doctors at the Cleveland Clinic developed the groundbreaking math and the physics, but they needed real-world application. That real world happens to be in Edina and the startup company Prevent Biometrics. For 3 years, this collaboration has been testing and improving the electronics in the mouthguard and the systems to monitor the data created by the device.
We've now built all of that to a complete system that isn't just an impact monitor, but it's a tracking system. The ability to give a coach knowledge of what actually happened and help them make decisions.
In the athletics world, we need to be much more precise, much more accurate, much more clear for the clinicians.
This fall, Prevent entered into a formal partnership with Fairview Health Services to improve concussion care through research and this data. Fairview provides athletic trainers to a multitude of schools in the Twin Cities. These teams and these trainers are on the cutting edge. Players from the teams get their personalized mouthguards from a futuristic charging station to start every game. Then all their impact information is relayed to an app that the trainers are able to monitor on an iPad.
There are some times during the game where there might be a hit or an impact that I may not always see, or it doesn't present as a very hard impact, but then I look at the iPad and I see that somebody maybe has taken a really severe hit, and it gives me a chance to go over and check in on them.
The mouthguard, the sensors will never make a decision about what happens medically. That's a clinician's decision. But having information has always been important for innovation and for medical advancement. We're hoping that this tool is a tool that can give us information that we didn't have before so that we can make good medical decisions.
Prevent Biometrics will go to market with this revolutionary mouthguard for the 2019 football season. The employees in this modestly small office in Edina hope their combined efforts will change the sports landscape. And this isn't just about money. This is also a very personal passion.
5 years ago, my son suffered a horrible concussion in hockey practice. He missed a semester of school and a year of sports. When I met Steve Washburn and Adam Barch in the Cleveland Clinic for the underpinnings of Prevent, I understood that an accurate product like this that was in a mouthguard that's anchored to your head is the only way I can imagine doing this.
It's going to change things. It's going to make sports safer. It's going to really provide parents with a lot of assurance that, you know, that while their kids are playing, they're being protected.
This has the potential to really make a profound impact. It wouldn't be an overstatement to say this kind of technology could save football. When there are fears about the safety of sports, you see participation drop, and that's a bad thing. We're pro sports. We think, you know, kids at all levels should be playing sports and learning all of the great life lessons that come from it, and we want them to be able to play safely.
(28-8) at the break as Barnesville leads Minneapolis North here at the U.S. Bank Stadium. J.W. Cox alongside Chris Holm. And I think the way is clear, Chris, for Minneapolis North. The execution has to be at a very high level right out of the gates because down by 3 scores, you've got a whole half to play, but it is imperative almost that they go out and score to really make this a feasible comeback on this first possession they're going to get.
Yeah, they're going to have to take care of the ball. Barnesville has come to play today, and you could see easily why, you know, Barnesville was prepared to come at U.S. Bank Stadium here. Their offense right now, I don't want to say flawless, but definitely just impressive. I think this is the best word. They've gone out there and executed at a very high level. But defensively as well, they have come up with stops when they needed to. The Elamine touchdown was very important for the Polars. They needed to get back on the scoring train. But right now, if you're Coach Strand and company in Barnesville, you got to be really pleased where you're at with this 28-8 lead.
And it's a couple of big plays, really. You take those out, and this Barnesville defense has played lights out just like they have all year. Came in averaging 9 points allowed per game. So, again, you knew you were going to take maybe a little step up in kind of the sophistication of what the offense was you were going to see. But these guys, that it also should be noted, Chris, as you well know, a lot of the names we've said on both sides. Tonsfeld, the quarterback, makes that big play on the sideline. Guys going both ways. Minneapolis North doesn't have to do that quite as much. The rosters are about the same size, but the Trojans have two-way guys, and they're getting it done on both sides of the ball.
Well, when you have your athletes, what do they say, JW? You put your athletes on the field, right? And these teams have both. I mean, Barnesville equally is out there putting some of their best guys on both sides of the ball. And, you know, it's impressive. And the field is set here for 2A with the 4 teams. Now Caledonia punching their ticket on the bottom half of the bracket. These two teams, either one could come out of here. Right now, I'm really impressed with Barnesville's play offensively. You know, I didn't know what it was going to look like. We know the Elk River style double tight end, tight T in the backfield, and they've really executed the deception, the misdirection. And if you're the Polars, there has to be an answer for that coming out of this third quarter in halftime. If they don't, there's another possibility where they could put 28 more points on the board offensively for the Trojans.
And your other biggest difference in this game, I can't really think of a mistake, certainly not on offense, but a real mistake that Barnesville has made in this game. And you flip it on the other side, Minneapolis North has the 2 fumbles. They've got the chances missed on 4th downs. Barnesville is not only playing good on offense, but they're playing efficient and mistake-free with this football.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to, let's be really nitpicky, the only issue was the 2-point conversion where they had to delay a game in the timeout, and they almost got it on that one. So you're exactly right. You can't pinpoint a Trojan error here in this first half, where on the flip of that, those penalties that the fumbles rather for the North offense, that has produced scores for the opposing Trojans. So, you know, 28-8 here again. It's probably exactly how it's playing out. And if you're the Polars, to get back in this game, you have to stop the offense coming out from the Trojans, or it's just going to be time consumption and more points on the board.
6 different ball carriers with 258 yards on the ground, and the 4 touchdowns for Barnesville. 4 of those 6, including Tonsfeld, Hens, Anderson, and Detloff, have at least 40 points in this game. We'll take our final break and then come back on the other side with second half action from Class 2A, with Barnesville leading Minneapolis North 28-8. 24 minutes to go to determine who heads to the Prep Bowl in 2A, right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
You know what works? FVP Stay Tuned works. Engine buildup doesn't stand a chance. You know what works? FVP Motor Oil works. It's tech trusted for a reason. FVP. Reach for what works.
I'm Chris. I'm a customizer. That's why I love my Xfinity customizable streaming TV. I choose my channel packs to watch without a box, even live sports. It's TV made just for me. And little Chris.
Click today.
Recognized as one of the best universities in the Midwest, the University of Wisconsin-River Falls offers world-class academics in business, science, education, agriculture, and the arts. Located just 30 minutes from Minneapolis-St. Paul, UW-River Falls is home to nearly 6,000 students with an annual tuition just over $8,000 and a guaranteed scholarship for students with a 22 or higher ACT score. You won't find a better value anywhere. Schedule your campus visit today.
Your home for Minnesota high school sports is PrepSpotlight.tv. With dozens of free live stream games each week, catch all the action live or on demand. And if you miss an episode of Minnesota Prep Spotlight, you can see them all right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Back in downtown Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium. Minneapolis North Polars down 20-8. Get the football to start, and that means we'll put this Barnesville defense on the spot first in the second half. 28-8. Barnesville was out to a 28-0 lead. I told you the aggregate score of the rush total with 258 rushing yards as a team for Barnesville. Adam Tonsfeld, the quarterback, 6 carries for 84 in that first half. Kellen Hins with 5 carries for 48. Hunter Anderson 6 for 41. Nick Detloff 9 for 68. 1 touchdown for Detloff, 1 for Preston Snowball on his lone carry from 6 yards out, and 2 for Chase Brenner, the big-time scorer. No completed passes in the game. And Barnesville, everything on the ground. Zach Yeager, meanwhile, on the other side for Minneapolis North. 9 of 15 through the air for 128 and a touchdown. Omar Brown, 1 carry for 6. Keon Porter, the leading rusher, 11 for 44. Nasser El-Amin, 2 carries for 13. And Yeager, a couple of keepers, 2 for 22 yards. Eli Campbell, the leading receiver by yardage, with 2 catches for 41. Omar Brown, 5 receptions to lead the way for 30 yards. And, Nasser El-Amin with his long of the day, 2 for 57. And the touchdown, 128 through the air, 85 on the ground for Minneapolis North. The Trojans are 10-2, made their way here with a section run that included a big-time win over Frazee, just as big over Roseau, and then they edged out Holly, getting revenge for a 1-point loss in the regular season, 34-23. The Polars, they played Maple Lake and St. Agnes to win their way here through section play. And neither of those was close before they had to score late to beat Redwood Valley in the first round, and not close for Barnesville over Moose Lake Willow River. Scored 14 points in each of the first 2 quarters, very similar to where they sat in this game, except they did not give up that late first half touchdown, and we'll see if that changes the script a little bit from week 1 of the playoffs of the state tournament to week 2 here in the semifinals.
Yeah, talking about halftime stats, I think it's really interesting when you're looking at it. You know, you can hear it, but when you talk about Barnesville rushing 31 for 258, 4 scores, I think that is exactly what you would want to see on their end, because they are a ball control offense to the max with a double tight end, double tight T look. And when you see it, that's impressive. 31 for 258, and that 4 scores. So I can't stress enough, if you're the Polars at halftime, I'm guessing Charlie Adams and company, the majority of the talk in there was how we need to stop that from happening. They're going to get points. We saw it with El-Amin. He was injured, and he still had the ability to break away with his speed. But that 258 and 4 touchdowns, that's impressive at this point.
So they put the extra time up as the guys get warmed up. We're up here high above, tremendous view. I'm sitting literally right at the 50, but we've got a lot of folks that have been working very hard behind the scenes the last couple weeks. There they are in the production truck. Zach, Jake leading the way there left and right. Everybody, all hands on deck, plus our great camera operators who, I think by next game, I know some of these camera operators, and we highlighted how maybe it was a little struggle to find the ball against Barnesville. You mentioned it's going to be the same thing in the very next game. They're going to be sailing right into it by the time the next one kicks off.
These guys are awesome. I don't think people understand, and for those of you that are watching right now, the level of commitment that the camera people and the people in the truck are. And when we have the ability to have people from different states come and talk about the high level of high school sports, This is the best. We have the best around. So, you know, you gotta take hats off for these guys. They're some of the best that are working, not only around here but in the nation.
And certainly a lot of the camera operators today are the folks that bring you also the pictures of all the games that PrepSpotlight.tv has covered throughout the regular season. And while we have pretty cushy conditions right here, it's anything but cushy at most of the games throughout the fall, and then certainly with some setups throughout the winter, dealing with the weather, getting to the arenas that will be there. So it's a good reward a little bit. It's still a lot of hard work, but certainly a good reward for those guys too, to get a chance to cover a game with Prep Spotlight here over the last, what will be 3 days at U.S. Bank Stadium. So.
Well, JW, let's, you talk about the camera angles too, and we didn't really get a chance to talk about the review. The review that was overturned. That's a testament again to the production, because states aren't. We're talking the big states. When you think football, what do you think? Texas, Florida. But the ability to have a review, that is a big deal. It just doesn't happen like, oh, we're going to go up to the box and there's a student filming this. They need to have a good produced look at that end zone. Last year was the pilot. This year we've seen overturns now in this game and other ones. That's just an example again. Listen, you look at U.S. Bank Stadium, doesn't get any better than this for high school football, but it's got to equal that with the production value.
Yeah, it's awesome in the third year to be down here, and then, the ability we have to bring those crisp, clear pictures to the officials. About to kick this one off for half number 2. Minneapolis North slated to get the football. They've got the last touchdown That was the completion to Nasser El-Amin for 47 yards. As they tried to drive down a drive that took less than 2 minutes off the clock. Inside of 3 minutes to go, and then Barnesville was in no quick hurry to try and move down the field again, already leading by 20 at that point. And they'll put their defense out on the field. Some of the point totals for Minneapolis North. 48-0 in each of their first 2 games. They scored 50 or more points 4 times already this season, including, as you mentioned, maybe their toughest regular season game against Breck. Had to put up 54 in a 54-28 final.
When that was a halftime score that they were down. And you talk about, Breck obviously has some great athletes, and they are their quarterback, David Roddy. But, it looks at these scores, and it was a lot of 48-0, 48-0, 40-6, 38-6, 58-0. These teams were outmatched here almost on paper, nonetheless, against North. But boy, oh boy, Barnesville. I think, again, you talk about Barnesville's ability to play some quality 2A football teams. We talk about the Hollies of the world, the Breckenridges. Those games are the games that got them to this point. And you're seeing it produced right now. There's 28 points in the first half. That's what it's about.
Yeah, you look at the key phrases thrown around in college football a lot, and will be more so over the next month, the strength of schedule and stuff like that. You give the strength of schedule nod certainly to Barnesville with the schedule they have to play out there in their district. With obviously the results speak for themselves for Minneapolis North, but it's some tough football that the Trojans have had to go through. This one bouncing into the near side as it's picked up by Crandall. He tries to turn the corner at the 25, and he's stymied right there. So that's where Minneapolis North will start with the football. Their drives in the first half, fumble, turned it over on downs, fumble, and then finally the touchdown. To get back, well, at least to a point where one more score can officially put them back in the game against this Barnesville Trojans defense.
I think Crandall coming up a little bit limping there too. So North right off the bat here. We'll see what kind of adjustments were made. I think sometimes we overanalyze, especially in high school, about halftime adjustments and need to do things. For the Polars, you got to make sure that you tighten up and finish drives. The El-Amin score was one way to look at it. We'll see what kind of little adjustments they have here offensively.
Hunter Zinzin showed maybe some pressure. He drops off. Now Snowball will be the 4th man to come in as Keon Porter gets the first carry of the second half, pushes out past the 30-yard line to the 31. So we'll see if the Trojans, it's been mostly a 3-man front, Chris, and we did have the extra guy come off the edge, ended up just chasing the play as it went the opposite side.
Well, they have the 2 stand-up ends, and they do a good job containing on the outside.
It's all being led, as you can see it right there, from Jackson Pepping, the man in the middle, who one of those two-way guys we talked about at halftime. Swing out to El-Amin. He's got more space. He's got more speed. There's a flag down as he's going to be pushed out at the 40-yard line, and that has all the markings of a hold to bring this one back. But that's the same play they scored the touchdown on, and it just shows you it's there, and if they execute, can be a big game changer.
Well, this one's going to come back here. It was a nice little play. They're going to get the outside receiver there on the hold.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Penalties were also a factor in that first half against Minneapolis North as El-Amin tries to turn the corner. Wide receiver got locked up. It's a tough island to be on out there. And it's a very narrow line, I think, Chris, between whether you're holding or whether you're blocking as a wide receiver.
Yeah, in the moment on that one, too. But like you said, JW, El-Amin getting out there in the speed. You could see that from Barnesville's perspective, they said to make sure that on those little slip screen type passes, you want the corner to be sprinting outside. Try to contain him, and he still got out there.
Spot foul, so it really only lost him a yard. It's 2nd and 5. They'll go other side to El-Amin. Winds his way through, stays at his feet, bouncing off tacklers to the 45, and has the first down. So they come opposite side, a little different on the motion, bringing him across that time. And at the 45, it's 1st and 10 for North.
Well, watch right here. They actually slip through it, but they break contain. The missed tackle right here. And now they're running outside. See how they're trying to run outside and make sure they contains in. You know, El-Amin's explosiveness was obviously talked about at halftime to make sure they contain, make sure they get outside and turn him in. And he's still moving the chains here on this drive.
Yeah, you're coming back into the pistol with Porter behind him, his senior running back at 5'10", 210. El-Amin at the snap going in motion. They'll find him again, and this one a little too far out in front of him. And they'll go incomplete, so that stops a little momentum they had here. A minute 15 into this second half.
Well, this was dangerous from being a run play there. It almost looked like he was making a lateral type of motion here, but officials right there on top of the ball calling it incomplete.
So a second down and 10, still back in their own territory, just barely at the 45. 3 wide receivers will stack up to the left. That's the wide side of that field as you see it. 1 wide to the right, and a hard count there. That got Barnesville to jump at anybody in blue move. I don't think that's going to be the indication.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense.
Good hard count by Yeager, gets those 5 penalty yards back. They'd already picked up a first down, but that makes it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that was encroachment on the 4 defensive linemen. They were all tippy-toeing across the line, so no number on that one. There was an aggressive play there, all 4 jumping off sides.
So it's 2nd and 5, right at the midfield stripe, just below the braid of the Viking there as they'll swing it out, looking that way for Brown, and it's too far in front of him. So those little swing passes just eluding Zach Yeager a bit. We told you a 63% completion quarterback in the regular season. He'd been over 60% in the postseason too.
Watch Snowball come up there. When they're seeing that guy release on the outside, he was back there right away. Do you see how he ran up there and it almost tailed him? The idea is to block him right there from that middle receiver, but he got through there just enough to make it uncomfortable for the quarterback.
Brown alone on the right. Yeager rolls away, looking on a 3rd and 5, fires out wide open, but too high for Elamine. He was there at the sticks and room to run, and the last 3 going incomplete for Zach Yeager. 4th down, right at midfield. All right. How much does Charlie Adams gamble now at this point?
Well, I would have bet he's going to have to gamble here, because the one thing that they haven't had the answer for, JW, is stopping the offense. They're going to have to take shots here now. 28, you're down 20, 28-8. That one was probably a completable pass and it just dropped. I agree here with Charlie Adams. They're going to have to gamble a little bit here to get back in this game.
Marlon Ridley goes on the left side, set up as a tight end / wing. He's off to the left of the formation. That's the way they will roll Yeager. Same play, and they complete it this time right to the stick. Same play, same guy, and give him another chance, and they get it done. First down for Elamine.
Another Trojan down on that play, but just 2 hook routes. Again, it's zone ability here, and they just want to get in the area and make a complete pass and get the first down.
That'll be an official's timeout as Preston Snowball is down for the 2nd time in this game. He's been going at somewhat less than 100% as they attend to him on the field. Don't forget, you can see Minnesota Prep Spotlight Sundays at 9:30 on 45 TV. Not just the things that you see live via PrepSpotlight.tv, but everything that we cover, all the best stories in high school sports in Minnesota. We'll pause, come back with just under 10.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. 28-8 still. Barnesville leads Minneapolis North on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Every Sunday night at 9:30, catch Minnesota Prep Spotlight on 45 TV. We'll have all the highlights as well as feature stories on athletes, coaches, and others who are shaping the Minnesota Prep sports world. Filmed on location at a different school each week, Minnesota Prep Spotlight is the most comprehensive sports show in the state. Tune in Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on 45 TV or catch every episode online at PrepSpotlight.tv.
28-8. Barnesville was out 28-0, and that was the positive. Unfortunately, right now, Preston Snowball, their talented tight end, split end. He scored the first touchdown and the 2-point conversion to get this game started. Also a talented defensive player going 2 ways like so many of these guys in white and purple do. He's still down as they attend to him. They've slowly raised him up to a sitting position. And it'll be a 1st down and 10 once play resumes. No scoring here in the 2nd half so far. J.W. Cox and Chris Ohm here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Yeah, hopefully everything's all right here with Snowball. Again, both Elamine, now Snowball, guys that are really relied upon heavily in the offense for these 2 teams. We want to make sure that you want to clean out there the best we can.
See him down bottom on your screen as the play goes in front of him. He's blocked there with a little shoulder into shoulder. It's pretty clean, just a hard hit and a block. But as mentioned, he wasn't 100% already. Had spent some time down on the deck. Sent him down again. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. First down and 10, just moving into Barnesville territory for the first time in the second half. Winding up, wants it all. To the right side for Brown, and it's incomplete. Ball in towards the numbers as Brown was closer to the sideline. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Yeager right there, a little underthrown on that play. I'm sure you'd want that one over. Not a lot of pressure on that one. You see it didn't come out clean out of the hand. He wanted an attempt there with the fade route. He would have much rather have that over the top of the outside shoulder receiver, but comes up short and incomplete.
Yeager, 15 passing touchdowns, a couple of rushing touchdowns in the regular season. He's thrown 4 so far in the postseason. Snapping back on a 2nd and 10. They'll get him rolling to his throwing side, directing traffic down the field. Wide open, Elamine at the 25, and he slips the tackle, and he's gone. Pulls a Stephon Diggs out of his back pocket and takes it into the end zone for the score. And now we've got a 2-score game again.
Watch it right here, a little impro over the top. It just floats it in there. And you're right, a little Diggs action on that one. Missed
Almost
tackle.
the same spot. I don't remember where the miracle happened, but it was on this sideline going that way, so that's a little eerie. Minneapolis North will go for 2. Again, this is less about chasing points because it's a 14-point game right now. More about the fact that that's the MO of both of these teams, to just go for the 2-point conversion and get the points that way after touchdowns. 3 wide to the left again. Elamine on his own to the right after his 2nd touchdown catch of the game. Looking for him on the fade, back of the end zone. It's up. He made the catch but was out of bounds. Just ran out of room, so it's a 14-point game. Inside of 10 minutes to go. Nasser Elamine, his 3rd touchdown catch of the state tournament, his 2nd of the day today. Can't get the 2-point conversion, but it's still a 2-score game with 9:57 to go in the 3rd, and the ball coming back to this potent Barnesville offense for the first time in the second half. Now they're on the spot, Chris, where they can find an answer. We've seen this offense more than capable of moving down the field. They've done it from short, they've done it from deep, and now they've got a chance. Yep, it's a 2-score game, but the ball coming back with a chance to answer.
Yeah, and for sure on that one. It was a nice drive, time-consuming. They ended up in their offense, and now we'll see Barnesville's offense coming onto the field, and we'll see if the Polars have an answer for that. So, getting right back into the game, 2 scores now, tightening up here a little bit. Barnesville coming onto the field. This could be a good way to get into this 3rd quarter, 4th quarter for fans watching this around the state.
Yeah, I'm excited. We had some running time in the game before us. Sometimes you get to those games where it just becomes lopsided, gets away from a good team on one side and the better team on the other side able to get out to a lead. Barnesville up 28-0 with the last 2 touchdowns go from Minneapolis North, and now their first touch for the Trojans coming up here in the second half. Kickoff goes short, bouncing at the 30. Little miscommunication. Good to see Snowball back out there as it's walled off and picked up by Brenner, and Brenner is taken down at the 20, and some flags fly. Maybe on the hit, so it's going to be a little better field position off the Brenner return at the 20. Everybody threw their flags.
Yeah, they're going to get a face mask here. You can see it on the initial contact, but that'll be 15-yard penalty. Big penalty coming up here.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You'll see it right here on the initial tackle. Looked like it was going to be just fine. Puts his hand right in there and jettisons him around there. So we're looked to be a start here deep in their part of the field. Now it pushes after 15 out to the 35.
28-14. Only one time all game as Minneapolis North stopped Barnesville. They came on their 3rd possession, forced a punt after a 3-and-out. They'll run right side, little to the edge with Hins as he pushes up for the first down to the 46. An 11-yard pickup on first down from the 35. And just like that, Barnesville inches closer to midfield.
Just more of the same for this Trojan offense. I tell you what, impressive here today with that. They're getting big chunks on the runs. It isn't just a 1 or 2 yard gain. When they get it, they're already 6 to 10 yards, second level down the field. So chains move here again. And again, we are seeing this new style offense here in Minnesota that teams are are adapting, and Barnesville's one of those offenses.
Anderson waiting in the hole. The blocking was never there as it was set and held by Travis, the big junior at 26 tackles a week ago. Quintrell Travis this time setting the edge along with Jeremiah Stewart, who's fired up on the left side of your screen.
Well, and they got a stalemate there. The linebacker filled the gap nicely on that one. And that was just a straight design handoff to see if they could get it right in the A-B gap, and he did a nice job wrapping up and getting a stalemate. One of the very few stalemates that we've had here today for the Polar defense.
Yeah, you talk about nitpicking. We said no mistakes. I mean, you can break down film and find ways where it wasn't blocked properly, but even that, maybe 2 times where they've had little to no gain. They'll run it with Anderson again, this time to the right, and he's tracked down as he crosses the 50. The ball came out, but late. They say he was down as it was popped and picked by Minneapolis North. It will be a 3rd down, though, coming up just in to North Territory at the 49. It'll be a 3rd down and 5.
You know, you see the fake there, the initial handoff, the give, the quarterback rolling out.
Oh, we don't have a shot on the other side,
yeah.
But that looked like he was, unless the forward progress has been blown down.
Well, there's the progress. Boy, oh boy, that's close, but the whistle right there blowing it dead.
I think that might be it. More so than the knee, it was the forward progress
Definitely
that had been stopped.
You're right.
So from the 50, a 3rd down and 5. Big momentum part for the defense. And it'll be a straight run up the middle, and the spot is short right now as they run with the fullback Detloff. And he's to the 45, needed the 44. It'll be 4th and short. And you got this offense on the other team's side of the field, Chris, and I think you got to go for it still, even though you don't want to give good field position.
Go for it. And Barnesville has seen enough here. The coaches have seen enough from the box up top. You're at a 4th and 1 or less on this one.
We just said there have been less than a handful of times where
Yep.
they have not gained at least a yard.
Hard snap count here might be coming. We'll see.
Tonsfeld underneath. The big man Detloff straight back behind him in the middle of those splits. They'll give it instead to Brenner. Brenner stays on his feet past the 45, and he's got it with ease to the 40. It's just an offense so designed to pick up those chunks, and it's a perfect 4th down situation.
Watch the seal. That left fullback was already a yard ahead of the line. That's designed. They get a beautiful seal on that one. Watch the give here. Nice kick out on the offensive line. So, like you said, JW, it's designed to do that. It is designed to get that 1 yard, and they go right back to the same formation here.
From the 40, leading by 2 touchdowns. Right side for Hunter Anderson. He dives inside the 35 to the 32. 8-yard pickup on 1st down, and those are the types of plays that make the offense so dangerous because, again, anytime you stay within the schedule of downs inside the sticks, you're going to have a 3rd and short or a 4th and short. We just saw him pick up the 4th down.
You know, the fake on the left side of the fullback through. And remember, Tonsfeld he was the guy who was getting the majority of the carries here in that first half, and now they've kind of used him not necessarily as the decoy, but as the person who they're looking at. And now they've been giving the ball here to Anderson in these type of plays. So a lot of stable horses with the running game.
Anderson again, his 9th carry of the game, and he sprints through on the right side as a 1st down inside the red zone, taken down at the 19. And that pickup of 13 yards on a eye blink for Anderson. He hit that hole. Is going to take us inside of 6 minutes to play, and is going to take us ever closer to what has been a 4-minute drive now for Barnesville, taking this over with just inside of 10 minutes left.
Time-consuming drives by both teams here.
Let's go, let's go.
And one ending up with the score with Polars. We'll see here if the Trojans can match that and answer.
It was a 3-touchdown game coming into the half. Right now it's a 2-touchdown game. There was another man on the field just running off late. Didn't matter as Detloff will carry straight up the middle. He is the leading ball carrier with 11 to Hunter Anderson's 9. Tonsfeld the leading rusher with 84 yards, but Anderson's got 53. Hins has 59. And Detloff has 73. Thanks, by the way, to the 6 or 7 purple-clad Barnesville folks who I saw walking around the concourse, and I stopped them. I said, "You're from Barnesville, right?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "All right, how well do you know the names of your classmates?" And they said, "Oh, we can do it." And they ran me right down the list. So I appreciate all of that and the hospitality on the road as Detloff diving ahead to the 10-yard line.
Good to
It'll
see
be a third
Snowball
short.
back in there, too. I was wondering, you know, these are the games that you want to make sure that you're in there contributing. And both teams a little bit nicked up in the play here today, but for the most part, it has been pretty clean and coming back and contributing at a high level.
Again, time just continues to trickle down. This is now outside of 5 minutes on this drive alone. Third down and 1. 2 down territory yet again. Detloff with Anderson to the left. Brenner to the right. It'll go to Anderson. Following Brenner. Trying to bounce outside. Stiff arms his way at the 5. Stays on his feet. What a run. And he's down at the 1 yard line with a first down in his hip pocket. Yeah, put up your arms, young man. That was a strong run.
Well, I was just going to comment on he should have stayed inside right here. Pops out with a beautiful stiff arm, but at the 6, the 5, and just wills himself down there. Great effort. That's all Anderson on that one. What a great stiff arm on that, too. Clean play.
Half Brenner, too. He tried to pull him in, but
Yep.
he just couldn't bring it. So he got a little help from
Just
his backfield
enough to reach,
teammate.
too. Yeah, I thought Brenner was going to get him across there, but here again, they are designed for this type of play.
And they've got 4 downs to try to do it. Once again, goal to go inside the 1. Let him finish, and it's Hunter Anderson who'll take it in for his first score of the game. That's how you answer, and Barnesville will maintain command in this game with a time-consuming 6-minute drive, capped off with 6 points and a 20-point lead again.
Well, I couldn't agree more on the let him finish. You got Anderson, all of a sudden he comes onto the scene. I mean, Anderson was one of the backs there, but that was his drive. And when you work hard like that, reward that young gentleman and give him the ball. That's what they did right there, and he finished it off for the Trojans.
Now the 2-point conversion. Pitch, Brenner, stiff arm, and he's taken down. It's a good open field tackle out on that far side by Quantel Jackson. Strung it out, and that's the speed that Coach Strand knew he was going to see from Minneapolis North. He said, we have quickness, we have some speed to ours, but North is just playing fast, and that's what we saw right there on that 2-point conversion. What we saw on the drive, a whole lot more of this. A little bit to get things started for Chase Brenner. There was a little bit of Nick Detloff, but a whole lot of Hunter Anderson.
Big conversion there, too. Let's not forget that first play right there. But a whole lot of Anderson. And he comes in. I love the ability for the coaches to keep feeding them the ball. But let's not overlook the offensive line play. I think, sometimes we get mixed up as fans even as watching that. The offensive line play on that right side right now was near perfect for Barnesville. They did a great job with the seals, great job with making sure that Anderson was going to get into that end zone, and he capped it off with a touchdown in that drive.
Yeah, led by what is the lone experience really up there as far as the senior goes, and that's Jackson Pepping leading that group up front. The Coach Strand said they're physical, they're hungry, and what is more, they've been a coachable group all year long, and that's been able to make this offense go and make this offense grow and get better as the season has gone on.
Yeah, and then that's what you're asking for in not only kids that you coach, but teammates, people that are coached up, right, and the ability to execute. So, again, we talked about at halftime, the ability to stop the offense was one of the Polars' nightmares. They scored now, but again, back to a 20-point deficit here, 34-14. This Trojan offense is clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, that's going to be the issue. I don't doubt that we might see Minneapolis North put up some more touchdowns, Chris, but how many more times can they stop this Barnesville offense? As a bouncing kickoff is taken, and it's a broken play for Brown, sprinting ahead. Last man to get him does so, but deep into Barnesville territory at the 35-yard line. And Omar Brown, once he finally corralled it, he was straight up the gut off to the races, and North in business again offensively.
Nice little return there. The ball in the turf scares anybody, and when you see it bouncing around, you never know what it's going to do. They got a lucky bounce there at the end. Off the hands of the Polar blocker, and look here, Having that explosiveness is key. And I'm sure that's what Barnesville said on any level if they were going to talk about special teams, offense and defense, is the ability for the North players to get out in open space. And right there, luckily they come up with a tackle there, or he's gone for 6.
Brown will set up wide to the right, all on his own. 3 receivers stacked the other way. Yeager drops back, looking to throw. Over the middle, has a man. It's tipped, and it is intercepted by Barnesville. Their 3rd turnover of the game, and this time it's the quarterback, Adam Tonsfeld, in the secondary, who comes away with the tip ball.
Just a little bingo there for the defense. You rep it out and practice it as it was drawn up. And as it was executed right here, pass delivered, tip up off the helmet, and there's your bingo.
Brooks Martinson, credit him with that first tip to start it, and Tonsfeld brings it home. You see Martinson, that's a good drop for a linebacker right there, moving backwards, keeping an eye on the football.
Yep, you have zones. You're not manned up in that scenario, and you just want to be in the zone. That's exactly what happened right there.
A whistle, and I think a timeout's going to be taken by Minneapolis North. You don't want to be one defender short against any offense, but you certainly don't want to do that against an offense like Barnesville.
First time out of the half.
Today, 323 yards on the ground and 5 rushing touchdowns. They lead it by 20 as we pause here late in the 3rd on PrepSpotlight.tv. Minneapolis North trying to get back into this game, and they turn it over for the 3rd time, plus 2 times they've turned it over on downs. Did that in the first half. They trailed 28-8, came out, scored the first 6 points of the second half. But Barnesville takes a long time-consuming drive down the field and scores to go back up by 20. And then the Barnesville defense off the tip ball over the middle of the field. Adam Tonsfeld ends up with the interception, and now he's at the helm of the offense on a 1st and 10 from inside their own 20. Tonsfeld gives straight up the middle, and it's Detloff again, pushing ahead off that left hash. Or the 2nd left hash, I guess. We got all kinds of hash marks out here on this NFL field, too. Good run on 1st down out to the 26.
Barnesville's going to take an opportunity here to chew some time off the clock. They're going to want to carry out their fakes. They're going to want to keep doing what they're doing. Right now, it's time. It's time that you start looking up. If you're a North sideline watcher, you're looking up. Even though there's 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, it's the time that starts eating away at you.
Tonsfeld, he'll give right side. Hunter Anderson looking for a block from Brenner, and he's going to get the 1st down, but no more, out past the 30-yard line. Yeah, the over-under on whether or not Minneapolis North touches the football with more than 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. I'd be hard-pressed to say that Barnesville won't keep this ball at least that long.
Well, look at these runs, too. I mean, now they're giving the ball freely to Anderson, and Anderson is running wild. And where has he got most of his yardage? Right side of the offensive line. They're using this in 5, 6, 7-yard chunks here. You know, I would imagine if you're going to tell me the over-under is 9, I'm hard-pressed unless they score here quickly and pop one. I wouldn't take that as the under on the 9.
Tonsfeld keeps, got a chance to pop it, waiting for his blockers, and he's spun down, still fighting. They push him back, never take him down. Forward progress had him the 1st down to the 42. He wanted to try and spring free, but it's 12 yards anyway. A 1st down pickup for the quarterback, Tonsfeld.
Well, that was a good read, and I'm not sure if that's an actual read or a design play, because when he hands it off, it almost looks like a read. If you watch him, the fullback right there, and then he pulls out at the end, but he has a lead blocker out in front. Because if it is his choice to pull that ball out, it's a great read on that one. But if it's designed, he had the lead blocker out in front, and thus, no matter what, move the chains for the 1st down.
And it's a great fake and a great acting job. I don't know much about the drama program at Barnesville, but if they got these 11 football players out there, they could do some pretty good stuff out on stage because they act to a T in this offense as Tonsfeld keeps it, goes out to the 45-yard line. Picks up 3 yards on first down. And the head shaking as he's looking to maybe make the read or see where it's been given or not. And like you talked about with the hand placement of the fullback Detloff, whether or not he's got the football, it always looks the same. And that stuff Coach Strand said they work on too. Part of that deception in this offense. 2nd down and 7, less than 90 seconds to go in the third. Tonsfeld, this time he will put it right in the belly of Anderson, who runs into the teeth of the defense, and that time led by Travis in Minneapolis North. And he gets a yard out past the 45 to the 46, some of the hardest yards gained by this offense over the last 2 plays.
Bowler's a little bit on the watch mode for the time, but that one right there.
Came up with a football.
But
Kellen Holcomb. He'll let time roll down, so the play clock's at 12, the game clock at 52.
In high school, you got that 25-second clock on the white hat set.
3rd down and 6 to keep this long so far drive alive. It's in the belly of Hins to try and find a first down. He'll get towards midfield. He's short, but it is a 4th and 3, and they'll still have to do it on this side of the quarter.
We'll see the time clock here, so they don't have
They
the
haven't
snap.
spun the play clock. You're right.
So if you're Barnesville, you slow play this one.
Yep. Nothing more in the third.
There will not be a timeout here. You won't waste a timeout. You see the Barnesville coaches right there on the upper right-hand corner of your screen.
Trying to get their attention.
Waving their arms, saying, don't snap this ball. And there comes the Trojan faithful to their feet. They know they're in a good place over there right now.
20 points to the half, 20 points the lead to the fourth. Barnesville 12 more minutes away from a date with Caledonia. A rematch here at US Bank Stadium from the last time they were here in the state tournament. That's what waits if they can finish this off in the fourth. Come on back with us right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Did you know teenage girls are not immune from addiction? If you're worried your teen might be using alcohol or other drugs, trust the experts at the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Find resources at hazeldenbettyford.org/families.
Some people say that my generation isn't motivated to leave home, that where we come from determines where we go in life. But my McDonald's gets that I decide my own future, that how I spend my time today can create opportunities for tomorrow. That's why they give me flexible hours so I can pursue my goals as an entrepreneur. I don't work for McDonald's. McDonald's works for me because they're committed to being America's best first job.
Third quarter with teams trading touchdowns, maybe what we thought we would see throughout, but Barnesville early had already jumped out to a 3-score lead. So despite the fact that the Polars came out and scored on their first possession of half number 2, including on a great improvised pass play down the field to Nasser El Amin. And that made it a 2-score game, 28-14 at the time, but the very next drive for Barnesville, after soaking up more than 6 minutes, they get the dive for Hunter Anderson, who was the man on that drive, and then a turnover for Barnesville. Their third takeaway of the game, the interception off the tip ball, and now they're driving with a 4th down and 2 to start the fourth quarter. 4th down, they officially call it a long 2. They need to get inside the 48-yard line.
Hold your water. Hold your water.
Up under center, empty in the backfield, save for one man back there, and it's Tonsfeld with. All right, so that was an interesting look. Tonsfeld was going off to the right offset. And it was Snowball who was under center, and they were maybe trying to draw the jump
second
there
time
from
out of the half.
Minneapolis North, and now let's see what they're going to do.
Well, they tried the hard snap and see if they could get a jump here, but Barnesville willing to take the timeout on that one. I'm
Correction.
not sure if I
That's
would
Barnesville's
let it
first
go
time out of the
take
half.
a 5-yard penalty and kick it
Barnesville's
away.
first time out of the
now,
half.
using the timeout is going to matter that much difference here midfield. But Barnesville willing to take it.
I was just fully expecting them to go for it again at 4th down and 2 the way the offense has rolled. So
well, that's what they wanted you to think, JW. They wanted you to think they were going to go for it here, but Barnesville again, full stable of timeouts. They're willing to use one on that play.
Snowball to kick it away to Brown. From his own 40. They'll play the field position game knowing they're up by 20. Brown will take it at the 5, corrals it, beats the first man, trying to cut back. They've hemmed him in at the sideline. He's to the 20, a flag comes out. This is likely going to be on Minneapolis North, so they're going to have longer to go even to try and claw back in with 11:48. Yeah, 11:48 seems like a lot, but when you have 6-minute drives at a chunk for Barnesville and their offense, you're looking to get some takeaways here if you're Minneapolis North to even have enough possessions to get back in this game.
Holding. Number 4 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
That's a beautiful punt on that last one. Look at the drive on that one. He's back to the 5-yard line. Hold there is going to be at about the 21, 22 right there. You see the takedown and the flag right there. You know, that penalty happens at the 22, so it's the full 10. You don't even get the half the distance, so pushing back a little farther.
Drive will start at the 12 with 11:48 to go in this game. An 11-0 season on the line for the Polars. They lost last to Caledonia here in the state tournament a season ago. That was a 38-0 shutout in the first round of the 2A state tournament. Well, for Barnesville, they're trying to extend their winning streak to 5 games. A quick throw to the right, and it's Elamine, who has struggled with some lower leg injuries so far in this game. He takes that one 9 yards out to the 21.
With a 20-point deficit now, Polars are going to look to strike here. You got to be up to the line. I think the play call and the quickness of the play call is going to be key, not necessarily what the call is. Again, the Polars getting it into their athletes' hands is key for them on offense. And just by looking at Barnesville, they're going to be fine with them with those 5-yard passes.
4-down lineman keeper for Yeager to pick up the first down a little bit more as he sneaks out past the 25 to the 28. 7-yard pickup as Snowball has the tackle. Elamine is clearly in some pain. You see him just right side of your screen there running off, that right arm hanging limply. And so he'll be out of the game.
Almost like a shoulder. He's trying to get some life back into that right arm over there.
Puts Marlon Ridley back into the game on the spot. They'll swing it out to the near side. Crandall got past one man, stiff arms his way at the 35 to the 40 for a first down to the 41 on a pickup of 13.
And again, nothing out of the ordinary here for the Polars. Just a little swing on that outside. 2 blockers. Crandall reaches for the first down right there. They're all right as long as they're up to the line quick with a play call quick. You don't have to get anything big through the air. Just keep the chains moving forward here efficiently.
Just under 11 minutes to go in this game, down by 3 scores. Yeager firing deep, and he overthrows Crandall. Moving towards the Barnesville sideline. Pauses the clock with 10:37 to go.
Yeah, Yeager too much on that one. Strong throw, though, on the run to his right. Stops the clock, which will help the Polars. But again, Barnesville, watching them defensively right now, and panning out to the whole view of the field. They're too deep right now, is a little farther back than they've normally been playing today. They're willing to give up anything underneath here and let that time tick away here at the end of the fourth quarter.
I think they trust Tonsfeld and Hins, who are the 2 deep guys, as Yeager takes off. Yeager to the 50, stiff arms into Barnesville territory at the 44. What I was going to say before that pickup, they trust those 2 safeties to be able to have the speed to rally to the football, too. Anything in front of them to make plays, and, well, they were forced to do that here, spying on the quarterback.
You can just feel it right now. You see on these plays, it's fourth quarter football. A little bit of tired legs, a little bit of get up slow, but these 2 teams have battled here today.
15-yard pickup. They'll hand it off to Elamine. He turns the corner, sprinting ahead, and he puts a hand down on the deck to leap forward to the 31. To pick up 13. This is the North offense that we saw in spurts in the first half, but it was always a turnover or a missed opportunity on a 4th and short that held them out of the end zone, kept them scoreless until their final drive of the first half. Now they're back up against it, down by 20. Barnesville, 4-man pressure. Throw to Elamine, near side. He makes the catch, and an immediate tackle made by who else? It's been a second half for Hunter Anderson. Makes a big play there to keep the clock spinning and have a tackle for loss at the 35.
That's a Big tackle by Hunter Anderson. He's working his way into contention for that FVP right now. He looks good, and he reads the ball well on that one. He's right in the backfield. Nice job by Hunter Anderson on the tackle.
2nd down and 13. They'll swing it out. Elamine again trying to run away from Anderson, and does. Turns the corner, but back to the middle of the field where there's all kinds of help. Adam Tonsfeld comes over to help make the stop, and along with Preston Snobel. We talked about those two guys as the safety, and they've made the big tackles in the middle of the field. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Well, I thought on the completion, it looked as if Barnesville was going to come up and make the tackle. Elamine kicks it down into the middle of the field and gets a lot of it on his own legs. But we talked a lot about it, JW. Put it into your athletes' hands. Do it on both sides of the ball for Barnesville and the Polars.
He's in the slot again. They're throwing away from him to the right side for Brown. A little trouble on the catch, but he hauls it in, spinning his way, losing yardage. Offensive lineman helping to push him forward. A little bit of assist there for John Collins, or there would have been a couple of yards further back for Omar Brown. He went a long way to pick up this yardage and still be short of a 1st down.
Well, he was close to getting the 1st down and then battled all the way back, probably losing about 2 yards on the initial catch.
So it's 4th and 2.
Could be the game right here.
From the 23, for all intents and purposes, right here. Red Sea parts up the middle. Yeager still on his feet, winding inside the 10, and they convert the 4th down and make it goal to go from the 7.
Someone's got to get Sumo.
Just a design quarterback draw right up the middle. There's no secret on that one. He got what he needed up front in the blocking. Moves the chains for the Polars. Both teams here with 2 timeouts. That north sideline, they want the play run. And yep, here we go. Timeout's going to be called.
Timeout Barnesville.
For the Trojans.
2nd timeout of the half.
He pointed to the Polars, so I think it might have been. No, they took it away from the Trojans, so you're right. He just pointed the wrong way. So the Trojans take the timeout. We will as well. 20 points the deficit, 8:18 to go. Minneapolis North driving on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Xfinity. Faster speed, more coverage, ultimate control. Simple, easy, awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Your home for Minnesota high school sports is PrepSpotlight.tv. With dozens of free live stream games each week, catch all the action live or on demand. And if you miss an episode of Minnesota Prep Spotlight, you can see them all right here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
I mean, unless you give it to Tom. 34-14 with 8:18 to go here in the 4th quarter. And we're not quite to academic territory yet, Chris, because stranger things have happened with this much time left on a football game clock. But again, those guys, if they go out and execute, not only even if they give up a touchdown here, but their offense is one of their best weapons to help finish this game right now, how much time they can soak off the clock.
Yeah, it'll be interesting here. So Barnesville, both teams, on this last play, a little bit up to the line, a little bit of rush going on here. But if you're Barnesville, big stop here would almost seal the deal.
So it's 1st and goal from the 6. Yeager, they'll draw it for him again. He draws contact at the 2, pushing ahead. He's stopped there. 2nd and goal from the 2. Yeager in harm's way as he has yet another carry. That's his 6th for up over 60 yards now.
And if you're the Polars, you want to quick to the line. This is just a designed lead through. Do you see the right there, Porter? There's no fake. He's the blocker right here. I would imagine you're going to see this again.
Yeager will give it this time to Porter. Porter fighting through on the right side, and there he goes into the end zone for his 1st touchdown of the game, his 4th of the postseason. And it cuts it back to a 2-score game again at 34-20 with inside of 8 to play.
Well, it's a 14-point game now. These teams going for 2. It'll be either 12 or 14. The question now on the sideline for North is the onside kick. You haven't stopped the Barnesville offense today, and time is against you. At this point, JW, I think you got to pull the trigger here and try to get that ball, because you're going to take off a majority of minutes here. We'll see what ends up happening here after this 2-point conversion.
You certainly haven't stopped them quickly as Yeager fakes the jet sweep. He keeps, and he's stopped short, dragged down from behind by Brooks Martinson. denied him the 2 extra points. So with 7:45 to go, it will be a 34-20 lead for Barnesville. They led by as many as 28-0 before Minneapolis North scored to end the first half. 28-14 midway through the third quarter, and then 34-14 to go back up by 20, and now a 14-point game again. Pretty methodical, what we thought we might see with an execution level high for Minneapolis North on that drive, Chris.
Well, it's been on Yeager's legs, too. You know, he's gotten some great blocks from Porter up front. There we see El-Amin. He reaches for the first down right here. But again, you know, it's not out of character for the Polar offense. And the straight give right there. So between Yeager and Porter and El-Amin, they willed that one in there for the score and got him right back into contention here.
So here's the question. We're on the kickoff. And are they going to try and just keep possession here with another onside kick?
Well, it looks like they're setting up for the onside, so I'm surprised the hands unit isn't in here for Barnesville.
That's like we've said, they got guys playing both ways. I bet you the hands unit is most of the same guys that are out there anyway.
That's true. Good call on that one.
And who's going to kick this? For North, it is going to be Mario Sanders. And Sanders goes for the onside, got the high hop, and it goes right into the midst of Caden Zinzin, who has the recovery for Barnesville. That was as sure as it could be, popping that one out of the air.
Well, it was a good end over end. It got the bounce that you were looking for, but it was just too far down the field. Zinzin with good hands on that one. You know, when you're exposed going up high on a kick like that, you know you're going to get rocked. And it was just actually a little too far down the field. Nice kick. And Zinzin again making a nice play on that one. But here again, you're going to be scoreboard watching with 2 timeouts here in 7:41. Unless they get a 3-and-out stop here, the Polars are going to have to start thinking about stopping this clock, because the time-chewing offense that Barnesville is putting on the field is just impressive.
At the 42, taking over with 7:41 to go. Tonsfeld, he's going to keep and go off the left side and push out past the 45 to the 47. Picks up 5 on first down. That's exactly what this offense needs to do right here to stay on schedule. They've done it all night, all day rather. Got to keep it rolling.
Well, if you're North, you don't want to sit on this ball as well. And I know that this is hard to contemplate at this point, but for coaches, you got to tell your guys up quick and get that white hat to blow that whistle for the 25-second clock. If you're on top of that ball, it may be only 3, 4, 5 seconds, but those start adding up here when the game is on the line.
Tonsfeld, just a sophomore, but he knows what he's about right now. He's waiting to crouch. Now he gets under. He keeps. He'll stay in the middle. He pushes past the 50 to the 49-yard line, dragged down by Jaron Ross Hawkins, the senior, who had 33 tackles in the regular year, averaged about a tackle for loss per game for Minneapolis North. Not in a situation he wanted to be, but he drags him down short. It's 3rd and 1.
Well, one of the tight tees there gives away a little bit. That running back is about a half a yard ahead of the other one. But the ability to stop it has not been there all day for the Polars. You know, when it comes down to it right now, we'll start thinking about breaking this down a little bit. It's been in the turnovers for the Polars. It really cost them here today. Big 3rd down coming.
3rd down and 1. Drive is 2 minutes old. Tonsfeld will go left side. Brenner's got it out to the 45 of the Polars. So now the drive can move into the 3-minute range. Clock pauses to move the chains. So you're absolutely right. You want to see where the missed opportunities are and the possessions that are the differences. It's 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, and the interception by Minneapolis North in what is now a 2-possession game with just time winding down.
And now you're going to have to start thinking about stopping clock, because if it gets down to the 4 3-minute realm.
Yeah, even though, right, I think 1 first down doesn't end the game yet for Barnesville, but again, the 1 first down brings the chances of having enough time for Minneapolis North down even further as Tonsfeld kept. Porter tracked him down from behind in a rare tackle for loss there at the 53. The 47-yard line.
Just coming off the right side. Doing a nice job there making the tackle.
Some pushing after Drew the ire of the fans on the far side, but no flags coming out. Clock will continue
Playing
to
to
roll.
the whistle. You know, that's the thing, too. It's a lot of helping up here. Both teams have helped each other up. For the most part, it's been pretty clean. It's just two guys engaged right here.
So a second down and 11.
You know, in the amount of time that we were talking about it, you're already under 5 minutes. I think here on a third down, if you get a stop, you use one right here. Then you make a third down and long.
Tonsfeld, he's going to keep trying to throw, and he's taken down by Keon Porter.
Quick timeout here. There it is.
Porter, 6 tackles, 2 for loss last week. Not much of a chance to get in there and get a sack today. But the one drop back, not on a 2-point conversion for Tonsfeld.
Timeout.
Couldn't see down the field, and neither could he.
Minneapolis
not soon
North.
enough as Porter
Second
brings
time
it
out
down.
of the half.
Third down and a mile.
Wide open down the field. Look at that. You see it right there. What a great shot from the end zone.
Snowball.
Nobody down there. All he had to do was get rid of it, but you know what? For the Trojans, it ended up being all right because it burned the timeout on that one. He throws incomplete, then it's a freebie. Or worst case scenario for the Polars, he throws that one and goes into the end zone. But
34-20, 4.5 minutes to go. I think we're still in stranger things have happened territory, but again, Minneapolis North, they got to get this stop, get the football back with one timeout, go down, score quick, and still hope for an onside kick recovery with likely no more timeouts. Because if they don't get it on third down here, Barnesville will be in no hurry. See if they try to preserve the time before the punt.
Third down,
keep it for after.
Third down here for the Trojans. You are not a passing team. You run this ball. Here's why. You force the idea, do I have to burn that last timeout, which you shouldn't. But get time moving here. Get time moving. Don't stop that clock.
It's 3rd and 16. They'll pitch it to get to the outside, and Porter's been the man of the moment here for the defense of Minneapolis North as he brings down Detloff before he could get going. Maybe even a loss of another yard. But that's the only time all game we've seen the offense stymied like that for Barnesville.
Yep, trying to get outside. Great tackle by North on that one. Got him right at the ankles there, Porter.
So they will hang on to the timeout as you suspected. Play clock still at 16. Snowball to punt. Brown back. Snap is there from the 40. Not as much drive as the last one, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 23-yard line. So no extra time off the clock on a potential return either. But how about a stop? The last 2 drives forcing a punt for this North defense. But time inside of 4 minutes to go for the squad in blue to try to put on the miracle comeback. Down 34-8 here in the second half. Or 34-14 here in the second half. Now within 14 with the football, but inside of 4 minutes to go.
Well, everybody executed what they needed to on those drives. North came up with a big stop. Barnesville running the ball on that 3rd and long scenario to keep the clock moving. I mean, these are football moves here. And at this point, again, the two deep for the Trojans becomes a little bit farther back. It's almost a 4 deep look here.
Snap back, the wide receiver screen. Alameen, he's taken down immediately by Brenner. Flying to the football on the outside for the senior Chase Brenner. He wants at least one more game in that high school career of his for the Barnesville Trojans.
Beautiful tackle by Brenner here. Beautiful. Got to his legs. He didn't go high, just enough to get him down. You see the 2 deeps there. Brenner comes up and just gets into his legs. It's exactly what you want to do on a play like that.
4 wide receivers, solo on the left side. Yeager drops back on a 2nd and 14, firing deep, looking for Campbell, and it's intercepted. No, and then dropped. Adam Tonsfeld almost had his second that could have ended the game. Instead, it's incomplete, and it's 3rd down.
Tonsfeld, he's just laying there because he knew it was an opportunity missed. Ball's put right there, perfect timing. And just that little shoulder tap at the air with the
Campbell
at
got
the
him.
end.
So he played defensive back.
Head coach Charlie Adams was right there, and you can see on the replay, there's Charlie. Nope, incomplete, lucky play there.
3rd down and 14. Yeager firing short, and Brown can't keep his feet. That's Crandall, excuse me. Can't keep his feet at the 25, and it's going to come down to this 4th down. That was in play as well. So the time's going to continue to wind. Under 3 minutes to go.
3 minutes to go, and if you're North here, you almost have to consider taking a timeout to stop the clock, because if you don't get it here, it's all but over anyways.
To make sure you get your best play in there, but they hadn't started the play clock until just then, so there's still 20 seconds on the play clock.
There's a lot of time to tick it off this clock. This is going to be a jump ball. Who's your best athletes right now?
They need the 38.
One-on-one coverage here on the strong side. Look for it. Here it
Yeager's
comes.
looking that way, firing it out for Campbell again. He's there, and it's overthrown, incomplete. And that 4th down might just do it officially for the front-running Barnesville Trojans here at US Bank Stadium.
Well, they were looking for the open field here, the 2D coverage. Sniffed out there by the Trojans. Nice little adjustment right there. There again, Tonsfeld on the outside, but credit Barnesville. They came up and got stops when they needed to. The ball was actually thrown where it needed to. When you throw that fade, you want it on the outside shoulder of the receiver. Comes up incomplete. Trojans feeling pretty good about themselves right now with 2:26 and a 2-score lead here in the 4th quarter.
Those last 2 plays, Adam Tonsfeld over the top, putting on full display the fact that not only has he run this offense to the tune of himself getting 102 yards on 12 carries, he's also been a leader on this defense, as it'll be a fall ahead for Detloff. And we were thinking, the guys in the truck are going to roll their eyes here, we were thinking Hunter Anderson for MVP of the game that's coming up, but I don't know, that quarterback, Chris, Adam Tonsfeld, has had a heck of a game in this sophomore campaign.
Yeah, and you know, I think I'm going to even do something that you're all going to roll your eyes on. Is like, it's hard to pick one. The stat line, I would give it to maybe even the offensive line as a collective whole. You know, you look at all the running backs that's coming out here. Tonsfeld breaks 100. Anderson's ball control here towards the end, it's been impressive today. I bet you the first person to say that it wasn't going to be just the person, anybody in that offense.
Minneapolis North, their final timeout of the game.
If they say, hey, we're the MVP, they would look for the offense. It's just been the collective whole of the Barnesville run game today is what I would point to. And you could pick anybody, and they would all be in agreement. It's the whole and not the one.
A figurehead of the offense, and maybe no better way than to go with the quarterback himself who's making those decisions. But you're absolutely right. Those guys up front, including Pepe and Robidoux, Affield, those guys, they have been the road graders. They have been assignment sound. They have held up against a very good Minneapolis North defense. And they have paved the way for not one, not two, but 3 80-yard rushers. Another rushing for 60, and 5 rushing touchdowns with 365 on the ground.
When you look at this whole, you're talking about 56 attempts. You're talking about 5 touchdowns with 365. They've controlled the game today. And everybody's done their job. Barnesville should be proud of what they have in that offense, not only in this game, but just leading up to this point here in the 2018 season.
There's the last first down they'll ever need here in the semifinals as Tonsfeld dives inside the 15-yard line. North had used their last time out. When they spin it, they can snap it 3 times and be done with this. Especially if they take it all the way down, they won't have to snap it on first down until there's 1:10 to go. Started with the football, scored a touchdown. Forced a turnover, scored a touchdown. It was a 2-score lead for Barnesville before you could settle into your cushy purple seat here at US Bank Stadium. Tonsfeld, the snap and the knee. And they'll have to do that twice more. After one punt was forced, they came right back, scored 2 more touchdowns in the second quarter to take a 28-8 lead at the half. Withstood the Minneapolis North first touchdown of the second half, which I think, to me, Chris, why Hunter Anderson does deserve a lot of credit. He was the man on that answering drive midway through the third quarter that answered the score from Minneapolis North and gave Barnesville the breathing room again that kept them front running throughout.
No, I agree with you there. 100% on that one. And when they needed to get it done towards the end of the game, they gave it to Anderson. You know, we talked early in the games. Remember, Adam Tonsfeld, There were some big runs there, too, where he broke off on the deception. But when they needed to go to the consistency, Hunter Anderson was their horse.
And that'll be it. The final snap of the semifinals in 2A, and it's Barnesville, unranked, coming in, knocking off two teams that maybe the experts would have picked ahead of them. But instead, the Trojans move to 11-2, and now a date to renew a 2016 nightmare. Caledonia waiting, but nothing says these Barnesville Trojans can't put up a fight and find yet another late season win after they beat the number 2 team in the state. Here it's a final 34-20, and your FVP MVP of the game is indeed Hunter Anderson. And Chris, the most impressive drive for him was that final one that he had the most part of in the third quarter. Ends up with 14 carries, which is the second most on the team, for 81 yards and a touchdown.
I like it. Look at him. Look at him battle right there. And that was the tell for Barnesville today, is their ground attack. You know, this is one of the very few times, and here again, off the right side again, that he was touched. There was a lot of opportunities for people to look at different people here. Hunter Anderson epitomizes the attack offensively from Barnesville today. You know, coming up with some big numbers, but that whole ground unit for Barnesville was impressive today. Congratulations to them and Coach Strand on the victory.
Championship game a week from today at 1 o'clock here at US Bank Stadium on Friday at high 1 o'clock. It will be Barnesville taking on Caledonia after a 34-20 Barnesville win, powered by 5 rushing touchdowns and 369 on the ground. Chris, a tremendous pleasure to do this one with you, and just an impressive Barnesville team came out, executed, and got it done.
Yeah, I love it. You know, 2 teams, 2 communities that should be proud. North has been here before. You see the boys coming over with the helmets off. But I love that the coaches, and, you know, look at Barnesville. They're out there right now. They're collectively drawing it in together. Cheerleaders going over to support their fans. 2 communities here. Well-deserved football win for both teams. Heads held high. Should be a good one. Caledonia, Barnesville here next week.
Best of luck to the Trojans as they move on. Congrats on the season that continues. Congrats to the Polars as well. For everyone with PrepSpotlight.tv, including our entire production, truck, and camera operators, and Chris Ohm to my right, I'm J.W. Cox. Thanks so much for watching. Barnesville 34, Minneapolis North 20, as football continues here from US Bank Stadium and live on PrepSpotlight.tv. Good afternoon, everyone.
PrepSpotlight.tv, in partnership with the Minnesota State High School League, brings you the 2018 State Football Championships. This comprehensive coverage of the state football tournament is supported by the McDonald's franchise owners of Minnesota. Further your education and achieve your dreams with McDonald's Archway to Opportunity. Today's game is also brought to you in part by the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Treating addiction, transforming lives. The Urgency Room. In fast, home soon. FVP's new Stay Tuned multi-system additive. And Splash, all-season windshield wash.